Chapter 73 Yi Fan was blocked on the street, 1. Chapter 73 Yi Fan was blocked on the street, 1. Nebula Sect. Xiao Changtian's portrait was copied and distributed, causing the entire Nebula Sect to discuss. Even the old ancestor calls this person senior? How high is his cultivation? His cultivation is probably already so high that it's unimaginable. Oh, what do you mean? Instantly, everyone's interest was aroused. Think about it, the Thunder Sea will probably blow up the entire Nebula Sect after the Patriarch's tribulation, right? However, the ancestor had only applied the ointment on his body. The lightning tribulation did not hurt the ancestor at all. Besides, I don't know if you guys have noticed a detail. At the final moment, the heavenly lightning was trembling in fear. Obviously, it's all because of that treasure. The more this person spoke, the more excited he became, and the surrounding crowd listened with great interest. Soon, all the guesses about Xiao Changtian's identity spread out. Have you heard? The senior mentioned by the ancestor was a Peak de Shang expert. The true #1 person on the Tianyuan continent. Nonsense. Senior is clearly an ancient emperor. The versions you heard are all wrong. Mine is the correct version. You are wrong. You're the one who's wrong. In an instant, everyone started arguing. However, Xiao Changtian's identity was getting more and more popular. The news spread to the people of Nebula Sect and they were all afraid of him. At the same time, in the Star Cloud Hall, Xing Tianzi was confused and asked, "Ancestor, is that senior really that mysterious?" Xing Tianzi was puzzled. The ancestor had already broken through to the legendary Mahayana realm. Could it be that there was someone who was even higher than the Mahayana realm? That's right. Seeing Xing Tianzi's confusion, Taoist Xingyun nodded solemnly and said, "The existence beside that senior is above me in every realm." Ancestor, stop joking, right? How could there be so many Mahayana realms after the Emperor Fall era? Xing Tianzi shook his head, thinking that Taoist Xingyun was just keeping him in suspense. Let me tell you this. The 9 Phoenix Matriarch is willing to be a servant by Senior's side and feed the Black Tortoise and other divine beasts. The method to break through to the Mahayana realm was given to me by fellow Taoist 9 Phoenix. Taoist Nebula chuckled. As the sect leader, Xing Tianzi instantly extracted a few information points from Taoist Xingyun's words. He was instantly shocked. The 9 Phoenix Matriarch is such a proud person, yet she is actually willing to be a maid. And because she was a maid and received a reward from the senior, she obtained the method to break through to the Great Vehicle realm. What's even more terrifying is that senior has the Black Tortoise and other divine beasts by his side. Xing Tianzi was indeed the sect leader of Nebula Sect. He instantly understood what Taoist Xingyun wanted to say. Senior's maids are all at the Mahayana realm. Yes. Taoist Nebula gasped in shock. After an hour, Taoist Xingyun saw that Xing Tianzi had finally calmed down and said, "All right, if there's any news recently, report it to me." Yes, I am. Recently, the other continents have been relatively stable and nothing major has happened. Only the West Bull continent has been shrouded in a black fog. Up until now, our people have not detected what has happened. Xing Tianzi frowned. Black mist? Taoist Nebula frowned. The black mist that the elder had used to ambush him earlier had given him a strange feeling. Previously, when Mu Jihuang was investigating the organization behind Taoist Black Fiend, she had asked for his help and mentioned the black fog. However, at that time she was too focused on Xing Ling'er's lung meridian injury to pay much attention to it. Now that he thought about it, this black fog was really not simple. "I'll go take a look," Taoist Nebula said indifferently. The moment he went down, his figure disappeared in space. On the streets of Dayang town, Mu Jihuang had just finished buying vegetables and came out of the shop. "Great Empress." Zhong Xian, Qiong Cheng and Immortal Ba Shan walked over with awkward smiles on their faces. "It's the 3 of you?" Mu Jihuang was puzzled. Weren't these 3 people in the Great Sun Sect? "Empress, you already know about the matter of the West Bull continent, right? We know who did it and we were just about to report this to Senior," Perfected Zhongxian said. "What is it? Do you know what it's made of?" Mu Jihuang already had a guess in her heart. It was very likely that it was the organization behind Taoist Black Fiend. However, when he heard the Taoist Zhongxian say that he actually knew who did it, he immediately looked happy and asked directly. "Yes, we used to be members of that organization." Zhongxian organized his words and began to explain, Initially, the few of us came into contact with this organization under the introduction of the sect master of the Black Sky sect of the victorious East Continent. The leader of that organization is a man wearing a skull mask. The first time we met, he showed terrifying power and promised us that he would help us break through to the Great Ascension realm. The three of us joined without knowing anything. However, we never contacted each other again until the death of the Black Blood Chess Saint. Perfected Zhongxian quickly explained the cause and effect clearly. Mu Jiahuang also understood. These three people were just peripheral figures and had never come into contact with the core of that organization. It was only because of an illusory promise. Moreover, at that time, due to the power of the person behind the scenes and the benefits that the Black Sky sect master had obtained, his cultivation had soared to the point of temptation. Many factors caused Taoist Zhongxian and the other two to join in the fight. However, this was all done through a specific crystal ball, so they didn't know much about it. Even so, Mu Jiahuang still managed to capture a key figure. The sect master of the Black Sky sect of the victorious East Continent, He Tianqiong. Alright, I'll tell Senior about this. Mu Jiahuang nodded. Hearing this, the three of them nodded. However, they did not leave. Instead, they looked hesitant as if they wanted to say something. Don't worry, you're just peripheral members. Senior is magnanimous, so I'll plead with you. Mu Jiahuang saw through their thoughts at a glance. Thank you, Empress. Perfected Zhongxian and the other two hurriedly thanked him. Then he left in satisfaction. After the three of them left, Mu Jiahuang's phoenix eyes narrowed and her expression became fierce. It seems that I need to go to the West Province personally. Mu Jiahuang felt that this was the first time she had received the truth. She was going to catch those people with her own hands. At the same time, at the other end of the street, Yifan was holding 2 tails of wine in his hand. However, he was stopped by someone. Chapter 74 Heavenly Secrets. Machine 1. Chapter 74 Heavenly Secrets. Machine 1. Yifan was blocked on the street. And it was a woman in a long white dress. Her facial features were exquisite and her figure was tall and standard, like a proud white plum blossom. It was Lin Tingji. Yifan, you're really still alive. That's great. Lin Tingji followed the directions given by Lin Baishui and found Dayang Town. The first thing she did was meet Yifan. The moment she saw Yifan, Lin Tingji was overjoyed and directly plunged into Yifan's arms. Yifan, I thought you were really dead. Lin Tingji cried tears of joy as she spoke. After a full 15 minutes, she was finally comforted by Yifan. Alright Tingji, aren't I living well now? Moreover, he was very lucky to meet his master. Yifan said with a smile. Master? Lin Tingji was stunned. Why did Yifan acknowledge a master? The Yifan in her eyes was that high-spirited youth who did not acknowledge anyone as his master and declared that he wanted to walk his own path. Brother Yifan, although you don't have the Supreme Being bones, you don't have to suffer like this, right? Come with me. We'll think of a way to get your Supreme Being bone back. Lin Tingji said in a deep voice. Ichichi Tingji, I think you've misunderstood. The Supreme Being bone no longer has any meaning to me. Yifan chuckled. The current him no longer had any use for the Supreme Being bone. Brother Yifan, how can you be so dispirited? Even without the Supreme Being bone, you're still the genius in my heart. I won't allow you to be so dispirited. It must be that master of yours who used the grace of saving your life to threaten you, right? I'll go with you to find him now. Lin Tingji pulled Yifan and asked him to bring her to Yifan's master. In her heart, Brother Yifan would always repay kindness. He would always repay others' kindness. She believed that Yifan must have been kidnapped by that master using morality to coerce Yifan to repay his kindness and not allow him to leave. Otherwise, Yifan would definitely not give up on the Supreme Being bone. Tingji, why are you doing this? Yifan smiled helplessly, but he did not explain any more. He brought Lin Tingji into the small courtyard. He believed that when Lin Tingji arrived at the small courtyard, everything would be clear. Thus, under Yifan's lead, the two of them quickly returned to the courtyard. Brother Yifan, don't worry. In a while, I'll get your so-called master to let you go. Lin Tingji looked at the extremely simple and crude courtyard in front of her, and her face revealed a disdainful expression. It was just a run-down small courtyard, and it was just a place for mortals to live. Even if he saved Yifan's brother's name, he would just give him more gold. Very quickly, Yifan brought her in. Lin Tingji was full of confidence, and her face was filled with a confident smile. However, as soon as she entered, Lin Tingji was instantly dumbfounded. She suddenly felt a few incomparably powerful auras instantly lock onto her, causing her body to go limp. If not for Yi Fan supporting her, she would have long fallen to the ground and could not get up. In her sea of consciousness, she saw a Xuanwu phantom that was as tall as the sky. A supreme divine dog that seemed to want to devour the heavens and the moon. It was a phoenix that was emitting an endless fire domain, as if it was about to burn the heavens. There was also an ant that walked out of the chaos. It was completely dumbfounded. The four auras were like mountains pressing down on her head, making it difficult for her to breathe. Right now, she felt like a tiny leaf floating on the turbulent sea, as if she could be overturned by the waves at any moment. Divine beast black tortoise, heaven-swallowing dog phoenix, and as the eldest daughter of the Lin family, she had naturally heard of these divine beasts. Faced with the terrifying aura of these divine beasts, Lin Tingji was completely stunned. She definitely didn't dare to move, her face was filled with terror. She really could not understand why there was such a terrifying existence in such a small courtyard. What exactly was going on? Yi Fan, who is this? At this moment, Xiao Changqian's voice rang out. He had a handsome face and was dressed in light clothes. He appeared in front of Yi Fan and Yi Fan with a faint smile on his face. As Xiao Changtian appeared, the four auras disappeared instantly. Lin Tingji suddenly felt that the pressure enveloping her body disappeared in an instant. What happened? It's the person in front of me. Lin Tingji looked at Xiao Changtian in front of her and was greatly shocked. With just one sentence, the aura of the four divine beasts disappeared. Big brother Yi Fan, this is... Lin Tingji said respectfully. Her eyes were filled with respect as she looked at Xiao Changtian. Although the person in front of him looked like a mortal, there was no spiritual energy fluctuation. However, in that instant, the aura of the four divine beasts had completely disappeared. How could he not understand that the person in front of him was clearly too powerful, so he could not tell? This is my master. Yi Fan smiled faintly. He knew that there was no need to explain anything now. This is your master. Lin Tingji was immediately shocked. To think that she had thought of persuading Yi Fan's cheap master to leave. In fact, she had already prepared 10 taels of gold in her sleeve. Instantly, her pretty face turned as red as fire. Brother Yi Fan's master was such a powerful expert, but he actually... Immediately, Lin Tingji hurriedly apologized. Senior, I'm Brother Yi Fan's fiancé. I barged into the courtyard without your permission. Please don't blame me. After Lin Tingji finished speaking, she bowed to Yi Fan like a woman. However, she was extremely nervous in her heart. Even her fair forehead was already covered in fine beads of sweat. Yi Fan's fiancé? Hearing this, Xiao Changtian frowned. This disciple of his was not bad. He actually found such a beautiful fiancé. As a master, he naturally had to keep a close eye on his disciple. Thus, Xiao Changtian observed carefully, his eyes filled with admiration. He realized that the girl in front of him had a temperament like a white lotus flower. She had a kind of purity that was untainted by mud and clear without being bewitching. Lin Tingji was extremely nervous as she was being scrutinized. Could it be that Senior discovered the gold in my sleeve and knew that I was going to use the gold to get rid of him? Fortunately, Xiao Changtian only took a few glances at it before looking away. That's right. Since you're the fiancé of your disciple, let's have a meal together. Xiao Changtian smiled faintly. Lin Tingji breathed a sigh of relief. Then, under Yi Fan's lead, they came to the table and sat down. But just as she sat down, Lin Tingji stood up again. Heaven's Secrets Machine. Lin Tingji saw the pavilion master of heavenly secrets. This was someone that even her father, Lin Baishui, had to address as senior. Chapter 75. Chapter 75. Senior, my hometown has suffered a disaster. I. Chapter 75. Senior, my hometown has suffered a disaster. I. You recognize me? The pavilion master of the secret pavilion looked at Lin Tingji with a puzzled expression. I'm Lin Baishui's daughter. Lin Tingji was shocked and quickly reported her father's name. Yes. The pavilion master nodded. So you're Lin Baishui's daughter. No wonder you look familiar. What? Do you know each other? Xiao Changtian asked curiously when he saw that the two were actually acquaintances. Yes, senior, I have read Lin Baishui's fortune before. Isn't fortune-telling a scam? Xiao Changtian smacked his lips. This Mo Qianji had tricked many people before. Yes. The pavilion master of heavenly secrets replied with a respectful expression and an awkward smile. His fortune-telling skills were indeed no different from a fortune-teller in front of a senior. He was like a disciple who had just entered the sect and was being reprimanded by the sect elders. Lin Tingji saw this scene and was shocked. The pavilion master of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion actually calls Yi Fan's master senior so respectfully. On the Tianyuan continent, those who can be addressed as seniors by the pavilion master are existences of the same generation as the Nine Phoenix Emperor. Even the Nine Phoenix Emperor has to show some respect to the pavilion master. Why was it unknown before? Lin Tingji was shocked and began to guess. At this moment, Mu Jiahuang came out of the kitchen with several dishes in her hands. Empress. Lin Tingji was overjoyed. She was originally prepared to bring Yi Fan to seek refuge with the Nine Phoenix dynasty and seek protection. Lin Tingji was about to stand up and greet the empress when she was suddenly shocked. Jiu, sit down too, Xiao Changtian said lightly. Yes, master. Mu Jiahuang was extremely respectful. She placed the dishes on the table one by one before sitting down respectfully. A master? When Lin Tingji heard the empress address her, she felt as if her mind had been struck by thunder. Her delicate body trembled and she froze on the spot. The Nine Phoenix Matriarch. The greatest human expert of the Tianyuan continent actually called someone his master. What was going on? Shock, fear, disbelief. A series of emotions surged into Lin Tingji's heart like a tide, and Lin Tingji could no longer remain calm. The Nine Phoenix Matriarch was the #1 expert of the human race. Her personality was incomparably domineering and arrogant. But Jiu and master were clearly the terms of address between master and servant. The dignified Nine Phoenix Matriarch actually became a maid. Hiss. Lin Tingji gasped. Just now, she was still thinking that Yi Fan's master should be an expert of the same generation as the Nine Phoenix Great Emperor. After all, in the cultivation world, the strong were respected. Among cultivators, seniority was not based on age. Ever since Nine Phoenix the Great defeated Nebula Great Emperor and became the Great Emperor, Mu Jiahuang was the most senior person in the human race. He had also started to become friends with Taoist Xingyun and the other 100,000-year-old monsters. But now, Empress Nine Phoenix had become senior's maid. Lin Tingji was extremely frightened, but then her face was filled with joy. Since senior was able to make the Nine Phoenix Matriarch become a maid, then senior's strength must be heaven-defying. At least in the Mahayana realm. Then he should be able to easily crush Yi Hao of the Yi family. Let's eat first. Xiao Changtian looked at the table full of food and nodded in satisfaction. The dishes on the dining table in front of him were dazzling. If this was in the past, he would definitely not have dared to think about it. Yes. Everyone present nodded. Seeing Xiao Changtian pick up his chopsticks, everyone started to eat. As the dishes on the table entered their mouths, everyone's expressions changed. It was too delicious. The dishes made by senior were simply the best in the world. At this moment, everyone directly wolfed down their food. Even Mu Jiahuang and Lin Tingji didn't care about their female image and stuffed their mouths with big mouthfuls. As an immortal cultivator, he had never seen such delicious food. Master, the food you made is really delicious. And Mu Jiahuang couldn't help but say. Senior, I didn't expect you to know how to cook. The pavilion master of the secret pavilion said with a smile. He really did not expect that an expert like senior would actually do such mundane things. Moreover, he had done it to the peak. It's just cooking. I'm just a mortal. Do you expect me to fly? If he couldn't cook well, wouldn't he starve to death? Xiao Changtian smiled faintly. He was also very satisfied with his cooking skills. After all, cooking had been enhanced by the system and had become a great success skill. Mortals? The pavilion master and Lin Tingji's expressions froze. However, the two of them were smart people. They immediately reacted. Senior was a recluse who played around in the world. No wonder one haven't heard of Senior's name before. It turns out that Senior is in seclusion. Lin Tingji sighed in her heart. At the same time, she looked at Yi Fan and a smile immediately appeared on her face. His brother Yi Fan was indeed that hotshot. It was simply his luck to be able to meet a master like an expert. An hour passed. Everyone had their fill. Xiao Changtian was taking a walk in the courtyard while Mu Jiahuang went to wash the dishes. The secret pavilion master left tactfully. Yi Fan continued to chop the firewood. Lin Tingji was nervous and came to Xiao Changtian with a nervous expression. she said in a timid voice, "Senior, I have a request." Xiao Changtian is still strolling in the courtyard, just letting go of the full footsteps, saying, "Okay, go ahead." As for the matter of Lin Tingji addressing him as senior, Xiao Changtian did not care. Yi Fan was his disciple, so it was fine for his disciple's fiancée to call him senior. "Senior, something happened in my hometown with Yi Fan. This little girl dares to ask you to help." After Lin Tingji finished speaking, she bowed and waited for Xiao Changqian's response. Yi Fan, who was chopping firewood, also stopped and waited for his master's arrangements. It was his master who gave him a second life. In reality, he had nothing to do with the West Bull continent anymore. This matter? Xiao Changtian also stopped in his tracks, his face turning grave. Yi Fan was a mortal, and this Lin Tingji in front of him was definitely a mortal as well. Could it be that a natural disaster had happened in his hometown? Droughts, no crops. Or was it the flood that caused the crops to fail? The first thing Xiao Changtian thought of was the natural disaster. Since something happened in your hometown, then let Yi Fan go back with you to take a look. Xiao Changtian said. The Lin Tingji in front of him looked like a weak woman. To be able to come out alone to look for Yi Fan, it must be something big in her hometown. Master, I want to go too. Chapter 76. Trash Yi Fan, you dare to come back? I. Chapter 76. Trash Yi Fan, you dare to come back? I. Mu Jiahuang added. What happened in the West Bull continent was probably related to the mysterious organization behind Taoist Blackfiend. She wanted to investigate this matter personally. This was because she realized that the mysterious organization's goal seemed to be to touch the door of the ancients. Behind the door of antiquity was a forbidden existence. Once it was opened, no one knew what the Tianyuan continent would face. You're going too. Xiao Changtian was stunned. Jiu was just a woman. What could she do if she went? Could it be that he could help build a house? Sigh, it's really possible. Jiu is very strong. I almost forgot. Xiao Changqian's face lit up with joy. He suddenly realized that Jiu and Chu Yuren were both stronger than the other. There was strength in numbers. Okay, you follow Yi Fan too. Be careful. Xiao Changtian ordered. Yes. Mu Jiahuang was delighted. When Lin Tingji heard that the Nine Phoenix Matriarch was also going to follow, her heart instantly calmed down. With the Nine Phoenix Matriarch, the #1 expert of the human race, there was really nothing that could go wrong. Very quickly, everyone packed up and bid farewell to Xiao Changtian before setting off. After everyone left, only then did Xiao Changtian remember that his disciple's hometown had suffered a natural disaster. He should have brought more gold for Yi Fan. I forgot about this. Outside Dayang town, Mu Jiahuang and the other two walked out and prepared to fly to the West continent. Take my 9 Phoenix boat, it's faster. After leaving Dayang town, Mu Jiahuang was prepared to take out her spirit ship. No need. I'll send you there. In front of the three of them, a huge ant suddenly appeared. Its entire body was in chaos. The ant walked out from the chaos. The red light on its antennae seemed to illuminate the heavens, and the sun, moon, and stars were revolving. The feelers moved, and in an instant, Mu Jiahuang and the other two arrived at the West continent. What are we doing? Before Lin Tingji could react, she had already appeared above the West Sea. Thank you, senior. Mu Jiahuang and Yi Fan bowed towards the void. Only then did Lin Tingji realize that Senior Chaos Ant had used a great spatial divine power. Spatial innate technique. According to the legends, this was a spatial innate technique that only ancient emperors could comprehend. Hiss. Lin Tingji gasped again. Senior's divine beasts are all at the ancient emperor realm. Then Senior. To think that he had thought that Senior was at the Mahayana realm. He did not expect Senior to be even higher. When the three of them reacted, they looked at the West Bull continent. The entire Western Bull continent was enveloped in darkness. The darkness was boundless. Yi Fan, it's Yi Fan. At this moment, some of the Yi family members guarding outside the black fog saw Yi Fan and the other two and instantly shouted. Capture Yi Fan. If we capture Yi Fan, we will be able to obtain the reward of the Yi family head. Catch it. Don't let Yi Fan escape. Within a radius of 1,000 meters, the Yi family guards guarding the black fog all gathered over. Their eyes were incomparably greedy, like hungry wild dogs eyeing a fragrant bone. Go. Capture Yi Fan and hand him over to Patriarch Yi Hao. As for the two women beside them, let us brothers satisfy our cravings later. A leading guard revealed a lewd smile on his face. His gaze landed on Mu Jiahuang and Lin Tingji's faces. He sized them up and drooled. Hee hee, you're courting death. Mu Jiahuang's eyes were cold as she looked at the guards of the Yi family who were rushing up and sneered. These ants actually dared to look at her with such a gaze? In front of senior she was the maid. But after leaving the courtyard, she was the nine-phoenix matriarch of the world. In an instant, he swung his palm and a terrifying flame light burned in the space. All. Following a series of miserable cries, these Yi family guards directly exploded into a cloud of blood mist. What is it? Why is he so powerful? The leader of the guards was shocked. He had never expected such a thing to happen. Immediately he broke into a run. However, in front of Mu Jiahuang, the leader of the Yi family guards was only in the nascent soul realm. Mu Jiahuang grabbed with her hand, and the leader was immediately imprisoned. Then a red light whistled over. Bang! The leader exploded in the air. Furthermore, his soul was burned by the nine-phoenix true fire, and his divine soul was destroyed. There's an expert. Quickly report to Patriarch Yi Hao. When the guards on the second floor saw this, their faces filled with shock as they fled in panic. I want to see who is behind this. Mu Jiahuang's phoenix eyes narrowed and she punched out. In an instant, the black fog that enveloped the western bull continent was torn open. Fellow Taoist Nine Phoenix, wait for a moment. Just as Mu Jiahuang and the other three were about to enter, another figure landed. It was Taoist Xingyun who had rushed over. Fellow Taoist Xingyun? You broke through to the Deshang realm? Seeing Taoist Xingyun, Mu Jiahuang's eyes darkened. She realized that Taoist Xingyun's aura was completely different now. Thank you, fellow Taoist Nine Phoenix, for breaking through yesterday. Taoist Nebula replied with a smile. Greetings, Senior Xingyun. As the two of them talked, Lin Tingji instantly understood. This was the ancestor of Nebula sect, Taoist Nebula. The former Great Emperor Nebula. She was just about to greet him when she suddenly froze on the spot. Because he was shocked by the way Taoist Xingyun addressed him. Tao friend Yi Fan, are you preparing to take revenge this time? Taoist Nebula's expression was calm. After returning from the small courtyard last time, he remembered why he had a familiar feeling towards Yi Fan. This was because when Yi Fan was born back then, the phenomenon of heaven and earth was extremely terrifying. Even Taoist Xingyun couldn't help but release his divine sense to spy on the Yi family. At that time he had glanced at Yi Fan. Now that he saw Yi Fan in the West Bull continent, he instantly understood that Yi Fan was the eldest young master of the Yi family, the genius who possessed the Supreme Being Bone. However, the Supreme Being Bone was later seized by the Yi family. The Yi family has nothing to do with me anymore. It's just that master asked me to come back and take a look. Yi Fan smiled faintly. During this period of time he had been cultivating the Mortal Sutra. What he cultivated was not only the mortal Tao but also a state of mind. Only when one state of mind returned to the mortal realm and had no desires could one come into contact with the true great Tao. Taoist Xingyun and Mu Jiahuang nodded their heads in understanding. Meanwhile, in the main hall of the Yi family, Yi Hao sat cross-legged with his eyes closed, surrounded by black gas. He was still thinking about how to fuse with the Supreme Being Bone. However, no matter how hard he tried to erode that silver light, he could not take an inch forward. Family head, something bad has happened. Yi Fan has returned with 2 helpers and killed our Yi family's guards. Suddenly, a servant of the Yi family ran up, his tone flustered. Hearing this, Yi Hao opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, a cold light appeared, followed by endless killing intent. Ha ha ha, a mere Yi Fan. I didn't go to look for him, but he actually came to me himself? Chapter 77 Yi Fan Deal I. Chapter 77 Yi Fan Deal I. Yi Hao's face darkened, and the black gas around him was all restrained. Then he took out a transparent crystal ball and waved his hand. The images of Yi Fan and the others appeared on the crystal bale. How's the situation now? Yi Jingnan could not help but ask. What did you call me? Yi Hao's face turned cold when he heard that. He shot a cold look at Yi Jingnan. Yi Jingnan shuddered at the stare and quickly changed his words. Master Yi. Quote. Remember your identity next time. Yi Hao's voice was cold and his eyes were filled with contempt. He was no longer Yi Hao. Yi Hao had died long ago. The soul in his body was the Green Bull Emperor. Originally, after Yi Hao's great display of power, Yi Jingnan once thought that his spring was coming and that the era of him, Yi Jingnan, ruling the entire West Province had arrived. However, reality gave him a hard slap. This slap was given by Yi Hao. Beat him until he was completely awake from his dream. Yi Hao directly seized the position of the family head. Even so, Yi Jingnan did not resist at all. He thought that everything was normal. His Hauer was only anxious because he had yet to completely fuse with the Supreme Being Bone. When he killed Yi Fan, everything would be there. Bring some people and go kill Yi Fan. Yi Hao said coldly. Yes. Yi Jingnan quickly agreed and left the hall. At this time Yi Hao waved his hand, and the image on the crystal ball changed again. The man wearing the skull mask appeared again. The plan is the same as what you thought. The 9 Phoenix Empire's empress who dared to declare herself emperor after transcending her tribulation has indeed come. The Green Bull Emperor sneered. Back then Mu Jiahuang was looking for us. This is not surprising. What one didn't expect was that Mu Jiahuang actually broke through to the Mahayana realm. It seemed like the person behind Mu Jiahuang was indeed an ancient emperor. There's no doubt about it. The man wearing the skull mask said in a deep voice. Invading the West Continent and awakening the Green Bull Emperor. The main purpose of this plan was to target Mu Jiahuang and confirm Xiao Changtian's identity. Ever since he saw Xiao Changtian kicking the black tortoise and holding the phoenix in his hand in the crystal ball, the skeletal man had begun to guess the relationship between Mu Jiahuang and Xiao Changtian. In fact, it was easy to deduce. From the time the Dark Fiend Taoist chased Mu Jiahuang to Dayang Town, he failed and died mysteriously. In addition, the Black Blood Taoist tried to test him, but the Black Blood chessboard was broken. Only Xiao Changtian could do such a thing. Anyone with discerning eyes could guess that the rescue of the 9 phoenixes was related to Xiao Changtian. Knowing this relationship, the skull-masked man began to set up today's situation. Their goal was to lure Mu Jiahuang over and kill her. As for Xiao Changtian, he was sure that he wouldn't make a move and he didn't dare to. He had also survived before the fallen emperor era, so he naturally understood what the consequences would be if an ancient emperor acted. This sentence was only for Mu Jiahuang. However, this time there is another Mahayana realm. The Green Bull Emperor spoke again. He was referring to Taoist Nebula. Taoist Xingyun was an accident, but don't worry, I'll send more people to buy you some time. I'll let you absorb the essence blood of the owner of the Supreme Being Bone and completely fuse with it. Your strength will recover to the Mahayana realm first, and it'll be enough to kill Mu Jiahuang and Mu Jiahuang. The skull-masked man said in a deep voice. All right. The Green Bull Emperor nodded. In this era he could only recover to the Mahayana realm. However, as the Green Bull Emperor, an overlord before the fallen emperor era, it was enough to deal with 2 juniors of the same realm. The next moment the 2 of them cut off the call on the crystal ball. Then a teleportation array lit up in the hall, and another 10 black-robed men appeared. Very good, follow me. Yi Hao stood up. In front of the Yi family's gate. Yi Fan and the other 2 had already arrived. Mu Jiahuang was unstoppable. No one could stop 9 Phoenix Great Emperor. How is this possible? The Great Phoenix Emperor has broken through to the Mahayana realm. So many clan elders were actually killed by the Empress with one hand. The servants of the Yi family panicked. The corpses of the elders lay on the ground one after another. It was a shocking sight. Yi Jingnan flew into a rage. Yi Fan, what an unfilial son. You actually colluded with outsiders to harm the Yi family. You will be completely removed from the Yi family's genealogy. Yi Jingnan looked at the Yi family members who were retreating step by step. He turned his spearhead and stared at Yi Fan as he said fiercely. Pa, Uncle Yi, aren't you disgusting? Even now, she was still using morality to kidnap brother Yi Fan. Pilin Tingji, who was beside Yi Fan, couldn't stand it anymore and directly cursed. Yi Jingnan, do you want to die? Mu Jiahuang's face turned cold. The dignified empress had killed countless people, but she had never seen such a disgusting person. Not only did he dig out Yi Fan's Supreme Being Bone, but he actually wanted to use it to threaten Yi Fan. Fellow Taoist Yi Fan, I can do it for you. Taoist Nebula also said that he was being a big shot. You 2 should worry about yourselves first. However, at this moment Yi Hao's voice rang out. In an instant, 20 men in black surrounded Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun. In an instant, the 20 men in black attacked Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun. You're courting death. This old man has just broken through to the Mahayana realm, so it's a good time to try. Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun looked disdainful. Powerful vital essence whistled out and instantly entangled with the 20-odd black-robed men. Mu Jiahuang's red light turned into a waterfall, and under Taoist Xinghe's feet was a river of stars. The terrifying power of the two sides collided. The men in black were forced to retreat. However, as the black-robed men retreated, a black aura appeared around them. The black gas began to slow down Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun in the space bell. The moment the two of them were delayed. Hee, Azure Ox Heaven Imprisoning Formation activate. Yi Hao spread his arms and shouted. Two green bull phantoms soared into the sky and instantly enveloped Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun. This was the secret technique unique to the Green Bull Emperor, the Green Bull Heaven Imprisoning Formation. In fact, before the fallen emperor era, he had once trapped an ancient emperor. He had absolute confidence. In a short period of time, with the help of the 20 black figures, it was impossible for Mu Jiahuang and Taoist Xingyun to rush out. This period of time was enough for him to devour Yi Fan's blood essence and refine the Supreme Being Bone. Yi Fan, obediently hand over your blood essence. Let me merge with the Supreme Being Bone. The Green Bull Emperor laughed loudly as a huge green bull phantom appeared behind him. The green bull roared angrily. Its body was hundreds of meters tall as it walked towards Yi Fan step by step. With every step it took, the entire West Province trembled. They were trembling. Chapter 78 Disciple Master is here, 1. Chapter 78 Disciple Master is here, 1. Brother Yi Fan, be careful. Looking at the flying green bull Dharma, Lin Tingji's expression changed and she was about to pull Yi Fan's hand and escape. However, the Green Bull Emperor could not allow her to destroy it. Another youth heaven imprisoning array rose from under Yi Fan and the other. In an instant, the two of them were directly trapped. Not good. Lin Tingji's expression was shocked. She waved her spiritual power and punched forward. However, the Azure Ox Heaven Imprisoning Formation did not move at all. Brother Yi Fan, we're finished. Lin Tingji was shocked. Don't worry, it's fine. I'll split it open. Looking at the despairing Lin Tingji, Yi Fan only smiled faintly and took out the axe from his waist. Haha, Yi Fan, it can't be, right? You're already so stupid? A mere axe can break my secret technique? It seems that without the Supreme Being Bone, your brain is not working well. Yi Hao laughed out loud and the Green Bull Phantom was about to land. We're finished. Lin Tingji closed her eyes. In front of the gate of the Yi family, Yi Jingnan's face was ferocious and his eyes were filled with ecstasy. As long as the phantom of the Green Bull fell, Yi Fan would be swallowed by Yi Hao. When Yi Hao devoured Yi Fan's blood essence and completely fused with the Supreme Being Bone, Yi Hao would be invincible. Yi Jingnan had a ferocious smile on his face. He was already imagining the moment when Yi Hao was truly invincible. Not far away, the heads of the Lin, Shao and Chu families as well as the leaders of the various factions, were silently observing everything. Forget it, so be it. I have to fight for a chance for my daughter. Lin Baishui saw that the Green Bull Phantom was about to descend. He gritted his teeth and his body directly turned into an afterimage, wanting to block the Green Bull Phantom. However, he was halfway there. Lin Baishui stopped. The sinister smile on Yi Jingnan's face gradually disappeared. Countless sect leaders were dumbfounded. They saw that Yi Fan's figure did not move at all. His expression was calm as if he was a farmer chopping firewood as he slashed down with his axe. Kacha. With an extremely crisp cracking sound, the Azure Ox Heaven Imprisoning Formation was directly broken. What is it? How is that possible? The Green Bull Emperor was shocked. That was his secret technique. It had even trapped a great emperor before the era of the fallen emperor. It was split open just like that. No, look, that axe light hasn't disappeared. At this moment, someone else said. Sure enough, everyone looked at the axe light. The axe light flew straight at Yi Hao. Then it flew right between Yi Hao's eyebrows. You're courting death. The Green Bull Emperor was furious. It was just an axe. He was the mighty Green Bull Emperor, but one day he was actually attacked by an axe. Boundless black gas was released from the Green Bull Emperor's body, and the sky of the entire West Province became darker. The black chi transformed into a huge palm that grabbed towards Yi Fan. It wanted to devour Yi Fan directly. Lin Baishui and the others felt this majesty and directly knelt on the ground. The soul mark in their souls activated, and they let out miserable cries. The entire West Bull continent was like a land of death. "Ha ha, let me devour you." The Green Bull Emperor laughed loudly as his black palm was about to press down. But at this moment, the axe emitted a silver-white light. With a swoosh, it cut through the pitch-black hand and landed between the Green Bull Emperor's eyebrows. At this moment, the world seemed to have quieted down. "Why, it's possible." Green Bull Emperor's face shook, and his life force seemed to drain rapidly. His eyes were filled with terror. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and said in fear, "That silver light from the Supreme Being Bone, was it you?" All. However, before the Green Bull Emperor could finish speaking, his body was wrapped in silver light and he disappeared completely. He turned into a beam of light and disappeared. Hiss. When the experts of countless forces saw this scene, they began to gasp. It was too unbelievable, too unbelievable. This axe light looked ordinary, but it could actually kill Yi Hao, who had killed the ancestors of the West Bull continent. Everyone felt an indescribable fear. Bang! At the same time, Mu Jiahuang and Daoist Xingyun also broke through the Youth Heaven imprisoning formation. The 20 men in black were killed by the two of them. The battle ended. Lin Tingji opened her eyes and stared blankly in front of her. Yi Hao had disappeared and the 20 men in black were all dead. Yi Fan stood in front of her and put the axe back to his waist. Everyone from the Yi family knelt on the ground and trembled. His father and the others stood rooted to the ground like statues. "Brother Yi Fan, where's Yi Hao?" Lin Tingji blinked her big eyes and asked in confusion. "I struck you." Yi Fan smiled faintly. His smile was kind and not violent. "He was struck." Lin Tingji was dumbfounded. On that day, Yi Hao suppressed dozens of ancestors with his own hands and was invincible. He was struck by Brother Yi Fan just like that? Didn't Brother Yi Fan lose his Supreme Being Bone and become immortal? Could it be? Lin Tingji stared at Yi Fan and was shocked. She instantly remembered that Brother Yi Fan had said that he did not need the Supreme Being Bone anymore. At that time, she actually naively thought that Brother Yi Fan was decadent. It turned out that Brother Yi Fan was already invincible. That senior is too terrifying. In just a few months, Brother Yi Fan has actually gone from losing the Supreme Being Bone to reaching the point where he can kill a demon like Yi Hao. Lin Tingji's heart was in turmoil. The mood of those experts also increased by one. In the dark chamber. As if sensing that the verdant Ox Emperor had been killed, the man wearing the skull mask stood up again. What happened? Why did their plan fail again just now? The skull-masked man's voice was filled with shock as he looked at the battle scene that was transmitted back. This is impossible. Very quickly. The West Bull continent must have settled down. The Yi family had collapsed along with Yi Jingnan's complete madness. At this moment, Yi Fan and the others were guests of the Lin family. At this moment, two figures had just stepped onto the West Province's territory. One of them was dressed in a green robe, while the other had red eyebrows and a red beard. Both of them had puzzled expressions. These two people were Xiao Changtian and the Great Sun Immortal. This is the West Province. It's in tatters. It looks like a natural disaster really happened. Xiao Changtian looked at the ground. There were countless broken walls, scorched marks, and corpses. He felt lucky. Fortunately, he remembered that he didn't give his disciple any silver, so he brought the Immortal of Big Sun to this place. "Disciple, don't worry. I'm here," Xiao Changtian thought. However, looking at the unfamiliar environment in front of him, Xiao Changtian decided to find a place to stay first. After all, he still had a family to take care of. Chapter 79 Chapter 79, It's Too Late, Your Miss is in Danger, 1. Chapter 79, It's Too Late, Your Miss is in Danger, 1. At the Longevity Inn. Xiao Changtian and the Great Sun Immortal stayed here. Is this the legendary teleportation array? It is indeed powerful. Xiao Changtian nodded his head. He recalled that when he took the teleportation formation of the Great Sun sect, the distance between the two continents was so far, but he had arrived in just a day. Little Ma, don't you think so? Xiao Changtian looked at the chaos ant that he had put into a transparent crystal ball and said with a smile. Inside the crystal ball, the chaos ant could only nod helplessly. Master had placed him in the innate divine weapon that could contain chaos back then, so he could not use the spatial technique. Otherwise they would have arrived in the blink of an eye. However, Master... On the other hand, Taoist Big Sun, who was standing at the side, just smiled and said, "It's just, quote. The great Sun Immortal followed Xiao Changtian with a smile on his face, but he didn't dare to say anything. This senior had suddenly found him and asked him to bring him to the West Bull continent. If it was in the past, it was impossible for the small sects of the Great Yang sect to have a teleportation array. It was too difficult to build a teleportation formation. However, the three tribulation transcenders, including perfected Zhong Xian, had built a teleportation formation in the Great Sun sect and connected it to the teleportation formation of the Zhongxian sect. There was already a teleportation array to the West Bull continent in the Middle Sage sect. Thus, it became the transportation hub between the Great Sun sect and the Western Bull continent. If I had known earlier, I would have let Yi Fan and the others go to the Great Sun sect to make the teleportation array. It would be safe and fast. Xiao Changtian could not help but say. He did not know if Yi Fan had returned yet. What a pity. I only know that Yi Fan is in the West Province, but I don't know the exact address. Xiao Changtian shook his head. He could only gather information for a few days. With the Great Sun Immortal by his side, his safety was not a problem. Damn turtle eat. The Immortal De Yang left and went back to his room to rest. Only then did Xiao Changtian have time to feed these animals. Xiao Changtian thought that it would take a long time to come to the West Bull continent. At most, it would take a year or at least a few months. He didn't expect that it would only take a day. If he had known earlier, he would not have brought these animals along. Damn turtle eat. Xiao Changtian looked at the turtle and saw that it was fighting with the hen again. He couldn't help but weigh the strength of his leg and kick the turtle's back. Goo goo goo. Seeing the green-haired turtle being kicked away, the old hen raised her neck with a gloating expression. Roar. The black tortoise was forced by Xiao Changtian's power, so it could only hide in its shell and let out a low roar. You still dare to be dissatisfied. Xiao Changtian was furious. This damn turtle was living a better life than him. He even fed him the food provided by the system every day. In fact, he had to check the condition of this damn turtle 3 times a day. Because the system had once said that these animals could not get sick yet. Every time he fell sick, the mission would double. Although Xiao Changtian had learned how to maintain his health in this life and no longer stayed up late to cultivate, he still cared about this old turtle more than himself. This freaking green-haired turtle didn't give him any peace of mind. Come out and quickly eat the feed. Otherwise, I'll chop you up and make soup for you. Xiao Changtian said unhappily. When the green-haired turtle heard this, its entire body trembled. Only then did it poke its head out of its shell and begin to eat its feed. The old hen stood at the side and looked on arrogantly, looking as if she had won a great victory. He even sent a voice transmission to the black tortoise True Essence. Ugly turtle, come and fight me. Ha 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 ha. Humph. The green-haired crow ghost humphed in grievance, lowered its head and stopped talking. It silently ate its feed. The old hen looked at this scene and raised her neck even higher. Pa. Just as he raised his neck to the highest point, Xiao Changtian slapped him. And you, why are you so arrogant all day? Do you want to die? If you dare to be arrogant again, I'll chop off your head and stew it. Xiao Changtian cursed at the hen. He really couldn't take it anymore. These two were the most worrisome. After feeding the green-haired turtle and the hen, Xiao Changtian finally had time to care about Alpha and the Chaos Ants. You guys are still the smartest. Xiao Changtian nodded in satisfaction. Wah, wah. And hanging on Xiao Changtian's thigh was Fat Rongrong, making a cute sound, her pair of big eyes blinking. You're the most troublesome one. I wonder if you can eat this feed? Xiao Changtian had asked the waiter before that there was no bamboo in the West Bull continent. Forget it. I'll give you some to try first. Xiao Changtian thought about it and still took out a bit, first letting Fatty Rongrong try it, to see if there would be any adverse reactions in the body. Sob, sob. Fatty Rongrong hurriedly nodded when he heard this. The feed in Senior's hands contained a terrifying aura of the Great Path. As a demonic beast he could clearly sense it. Then 1 foot 11 inches give you some. Xiao Changtian smiled and placed a portion of it on a metal plate. Help! Help! At this moment, an extremely noisy voice suddenly sounded in the small courtyard of the inn. The voice sounded extremely urgent. What happened? Xiao Changtian was curious. He opened the window and stood behind it. After all, he was unfamiliar with the West Bull continent. If he encountered a great battle between cultivators, it would be better for him to hide. Before he became invincible, he absolutely had to hide and not get involved in any trouble. Standing behind the window like this, he could completely hide his figure and not be seen by others. Instead, he could see others. Through the half-open window, Xiao Changtian saw a young woman in silk fainted on the ground, her face pale. A servant girl was standing beside the woman and was at a loss as she shouted loudly. However, everyone gathered around with puzzled expressions. "I beg you, please save my miss." The maidservant was desperate, so she grabbed a hot person who was watching and kowtowed for help. Being grabbed like this, that person hurriedly said, "Miss, one don't know medicine. Hurry up and find a doctor." "That's right. Not far from here is the home of the only doctor in our town, Wang Miaoshu," a passerby reminded. After receiving the guidance, the servant girl's face lit up. She took out a piece of gold and handed it to the waiter, saying, "Quickly go and find a doctor. As long as you can cure my young miss, you will be rewarded heavily." Seeing that piece of gold, the waiter looked as if he had seen God. He hurriedly nodded and ran out. At this moment, a voice sounded. "It's too late, your young miss is in danger." Chapter 80. Why are you crying? Chapter 80. Why are you crying? The one who spoke was Xiao Changtian. Thanks to the system's reward, he who had mastered his medical skills could tell at a glance that the woman in front of him had probably fainted due to a burst of blood vessels in her heart. It would take at least 15 minutes to get a reply. However, within this 15 minutes, the woman on the ground would die. It was too late. "Who are you? Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand?" The servant girl looked at Xiao Changtian with anger. This person actually dared to curse the young miss. After this matter was over, he would definitely let the young master deal with this fellow when he returned to the family. "It doesn't matter who I am. What's important is that I know medicine. The injuries on your young lady's body are extremely dangerous now. In less than 15 minutes, her life force will start to flow away. At that time, it will be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to save her," Xiao Changtian said in a deep voice. Although he didn't want to cause trouble as a gardener, he couldn't just leave her in the lurch. "You know medicine." One don't believe it. Which medical expert is as young as you?" The servant girl snorted coldly and sneered. In fact, they were from the Wang family of Changxing town. The Wang family was a large family. The unconscious person on the ground was the eldest daughter of the Wang family, estate immortal Wang. The Wang clan also had a young master who had entered the Lin clan, one of the 4 great cultivation clans. He became an unnamed disciple of the Wang family. Therefore, the Wang clan was like a tyrant in Dayang town. It was just that her young miss was usually low-key and rarely appeared in public. Who would have thought that the young miss would suddenly faint when she suddenly had the idea of taking a walk outside to relax? Your young miss is in a very dangerous situation. She must be treated immediately and cannot be delayed. Xiao Changtian didn't care about the servant girl's sneering and walked towards Jing Xian Wang. In his current situation, every second he delayed would be extremely dangerous. No. However, at this moment, the servant girl directly blocked Xiao Changtian's path. "What are you doing?" Xiao Changtian frowned. This woman's situation was too dangerous. He couldn't delay any further. You're not allowed to touch my young miss. At such a young age, you lied that you know medicine. I have seen many people like this. Many prodigals use this method to get close to Mississippi. You guys are just coveting Mrs. Beauty and want to take advantage of Miss at this time." The servant girl stood in front of Xiao Changtian, and she was very aggressive. As the servant girl said this, the surrounding women began to support her. "That's right. You're so young and you don't learn well. If you know medicine, I'll eat sh*t on the spot. Medicine requires time to accumulate. Young people just want to take advantage of young girls. Beautiful people like us, but you ugly men only think about how to fuck us. Disgusting." All the women present started to argue, not giving Xiao Changtian any time to think. Hj2. Xiao Changtian felt that he was speechless. He even felt like he had met someone before. He seemed to have seen a similar scene on the internet in his previous life. These women were clearly being unreasonable. He hadn't even taken his pulse, yet they knew that he didn't know medicine. Other than saying that he was more handsome, there was nothing that was right. "Make way, the king is here." Suddenly, the waiter shouted from the crowd. Everyone made way for the waiter and an old man carrying a medicine box to pass. This old man was not dressed in cloth. His temples were white, but he was in good spirits. He carried a medicine box on his back. Great, the doctor is here. Doctor. My young lady is the eldest young lady of the Wang family. As long as you take good care of her, the Wang family will reward you. The servant girl no longer tried to stop Xiao Changtian and turned to face Wang Miaoshou. Wang Miaoshou is here. This girl is saved. That's right. Among all the villages here, Wang Miaoshou's medical skills are the best. Last year I almost met the king of hell, but it was Wang Miaoshou who pulled me back from the gates of hell. Wang Miaoshou, this skillful hand, does not live up to his reputation. The surrounding crowd began to praise him with respect. In their eyes, a mere fainting was just a matter of a wave of Wang Miaoshou's hand. As long as Wang Miaoshou waved her hand to use the needles, the fainted girl would soon wake up. Let me take a look first. Wang Miaoshou said indifferently. He did not show any joy because of the praise from the surrounding people. He squatted down with a calm expression and stretched out his hand to feel her pulse. In an instant, his expression became solemn as he said in a low voice, I can't do anything about it. Wang Miaoshou's voice was low, but everyone present could hear it clearly. The servant girl was even more shocked. Wang Miaoshou, did you make a wrong diagnosis? If you want money, I'll give you more. Instantly the servant girl panicked. Miss was fine, how could she suddenly die? Miss, don't die. The servant girl instantly collapsed to the ground and cried loudly. Her heart-wrenching cries resounded throughout the entire inn. Outside the inn, in a corner, a figure wearing black night clothes raised his eyebrows when he saw this scene. It was obvious that he was sneering. After confirming that the King Realm Immortal was really dead, he disappeared into the darkness without anyone noticing. Of course, he was still seen by the grandson Immortal. However, he didn't make a move when he saw the indifferent look on the face of the desolate vast heavens. Senior didn't make a move, nor did he give me any orders. It seems that Senior has already made arrangements. The great son Immortal nodded and felt that he was really smart to be able to think of the Senior's meaning. Can you stop crying? It's not like he's completely dead. Xiao Changtian listened to the servant girl's cries as if she was asking for his life. He really couldn't take it anymore. Although the King Realm Immortal was in a dangerous situation and saving him was as difficult as ascending to the heavens, it was not impossible. Humph, Miss is already dead and you're still making sarcastic remarks. I'll go back and tell young master to kill you. Sob, sob, sob. The servant girl said as she cried. That's right. Can you not make sarcastic remarks? Being handsome doesn't give you the right to make sarcastic remarks. That's right, that's right. The surrounding women attacked again. However, this time Xiao Changtian didn't pay any attention to them. They were just a bunch of brainless trolls. He squatted down and picked up a few silver needles. Then he pierced them into the body parts of State Immortal Wang. Chapter 81 Chapter 81. So, my benefactor saved me? I. Chapter 81. So, my benefactor saved me? I. What are you doing? Seeing Wang Xiao Changtian holding a silver needle and inserting it into the young Miss body, the servant girl was shocked and wanted to push Xiao Changtian away. In the attic, when the great son Immortal saw this scene, he was about to attack. Stop. However, at this moment Wang Miao stopped the servant girl. Your miss might really be saved. End quote. Wang Miaoshou's experienced eyes focused on Xiao Changtian's technique. There were only 3 words to describe it. Hurry up. It was accurate. Hard. The speed at which he inserted the needles was extremely fast. Only the more advanced his medical skills were, the faster he could insert the needles. Moreover, the acupuncture points were not inferior at all. He immediately inserted the silver needle into it. Hardness meant that after the silver needles were inserted into the acupoints, they did not tremble at all. They stood stiffly as if an invisible force was controlling them. Everything proved that the young man in front of him had completely surpassed him in terms of medical skills. It was a realm that he could never reach in his entire life. I think Miss can still be saved? Wang Miaoshou, what was going on? The servant girl asked in confusion. Didn't she say that she was going to prepare for the young Miss' funeral? Why didn't he do it again? Don't talk. However, Wang Miaoshou didn't answer her. He just told her to calm down and stared at Xiao Changtian's technique. Xiao Changtian waved his hand and took out another 10 silver needles. These silver needles pierced into the body of State Immortal Wang. The more he stabbed, the faster he stabbed. In just a few breaths, State Immortal Wang's body was covered in silver needles. Those death acupuncture points have also been sealed. Won't anything happen? Wang Miaoshou couldn't help but ask in his heart. He could feel that the vitality in Wang Jingxian's body seemed to be recovering. However, he had never seen such a technique before. Moreover, as the first question appeared, the second, third, fourth, more and more questions popped up like bamboo shoots after a rain. He only felt a buzzing sound on the top of his head, as if something was ringing. Very quickly, Xiao Changtian took out a black elixir from his sleeve. This elixir was made from the urine of the green-haired turtle and some herbs planted in his courtyard. After he had mastered his medical skills, he would spend some time refining medicine every day. After all, only by refining medicine could one ensure that one's body would recover as soon as possible if one fell ill. He was someone who wanted to open the path of invincibility. How could he die halfway through his career? Taking out the medicine, Xiao Changtian opened the two red lips of the State Immortal Wang and stuffed the medicine in. Then, with a wave of his hand, hundreds of silver needles were instantly pulled out. In a while, your young miss will wake up. Xiao Changtian returned the silver needles, then stood up and went back to his room. After saving someone, he felt that he had used up too much energy. He needed to go back and rest. Thus, under everyone's shocked gazes, he left and went upstairs in one go. Just as Xiao Changtian went upstairs, the State Immortal Wang in front of the servant girl started to breathe rhythmically. Her delicate body rose and fell slightly. It was obvious that she had recovered her life force. This is unbelievable. Wang Miaoshou looked at Wang Jingxian's body. He went through the acupuncture points in his mind again. His entire face was filled with disbelief. He didn't expect that such an acupuncture method could save people. Also, he had smelled the last pill at that time, but other than a fishy smell, he could not smell anything else. In other words, he had never even seen the herbs that Xiao Changtian used before. Wang Miaoshou searched for it bitterly, but he was just an ordinary person. He could not cultivate and his medical skills could only be at the level of a mortal. He had once traveled all over the 5 continents. As long as it was a mortal doctor, he dared to pat his chest and guarantee that there was absolutely no one who could steadily surpass his medical skills. In fact, he had even gone to a cultivation sect to study because he could not make a breakthrough in his medical skills. However, there was a difference between immortals and mortals. Even if some immortal cultivation sects were willing to teach him, without cultivation he could not sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. He could not even refine pills. However, there were only a few sects that were so enthusiastic. Many more sects directly chased him out without saying a word. All these years Wang Miaoshou felt bitter and vexed. But today when he saw Xiao Changtian he suddenly understood. There would always be someone better than him. In this life, he had learned medicine to treat illnesses and save people so that more people would not be tortured by illness. Now, an excellent opportunity was placed in front of him. Wang Miaoshou's eyes lit up. He came to the window of Xiao Changtian's room and knelt down. He wanted to acknowledge a master. He wanted to improve his medical skills. Even though he was already in his twilight years and did not have many years left to live. However, it was enough for him to improve his medical skills and treat more people in these few years. He wanted to emit all his light and heat in the last moments of his life. Heavens, what is Wang Miaoshou doing? Wang Miaoshou knelt down? Could it be that you want to take me as your master? Back then Wang Miaoshou also acknowledged a master in this way. But Wang Miaoshou is so old, yet he wants to take a young man as his master. Isn't this too embarrassing? Instantly, voices rang out as they discussed in confusion. Some people even revealed disdainful smiles. The great Sun Immortal sat in the room and looked at the faces of those people. He sighed and said, Wang Miaoshou is really noble and has the demeanor of a famous doctor. It was a pity that the person who was saved was this ignorant person. As a sect master and an immortal cultivator, the great Sun Immortal was extremely impressed by Wang Miaoshou's spirit. However, he was furious at the ugly faces in the crowd. However, he did not punish or retaliate. Isn't cultivating immortality to change one's fate and break away from the ignorance of the world? He couldn't care less about this kind of thing. He could only sigh helplessly. 15 minutes had passed. Cough cough. State Immortal Wang, who was lying on the ground, woke up at this moment. He opened his eyes and looked around in confusion. Kair, where is this place? Wang Jingxian sat up and felt a bitter taste in his mouth. He could not help but frown and ask, Miss, you're awake. That's great. We're now in the Longevity Inn. I thought I needed to prepare for your funeral. Sob, sob, sob. A look of joy appeared on Kair's face. She did not expect that the young miss would really be saved. Kair, what happened? Wang Jingxian asked curiously. The servant Kair then told him about her fainting. In that case, it was my benefactor who saved me? Chapter 82. Why did you accept me as your master? Chapter 82. Why did you accept me as your master? The King Realm Immortal revealed a grateful expression. Then he asked again, Kair, where is my benefactor? She wanted to thank him in person and invite him to her house for a meal. Miss, benefactor has gone back to rest. Kair immediately replied. You went to rest? Then we'll wait here for a while. Wang Jingxian said again. Soon, with the help of Kair, Wang Jingxian stood up. He looked up and saw Wang Miaoshou kneeling in front of him. Kair, what's going on? Quote. The maid Kair once again told him about Wang Miaoshou. Wang Miaoshou is so righteous. After listening to Kair's story, Jingxian Wang couldn't help but say. His eyes were filled with deep respect. As a woman, although she couldn't cultivate, she was well-read. Xiang Wang described this kind of person as a sage. It's just that this old man is stupid. He's already old and doesn't do proper things. That's right. Who are you putting on an act for? When the crowd heard Wang Jingxian's discussion, they instantly questioned, mocked him. Although these voices were not loud, they were not far from Wang Miaoshou, so they must have been heard. However, there was still no change in Wang Miaoshou's expression. At this moment he was still thinking about Xiao Changtian's acupuncture technique. You're not allowed to insult Wang Miaoshou. End quote. When the King Realm Immortal heard this, he was furious. The person who saved him became a laughing stock. What kind of logic was this? Do you dare to say that Wang Miaoshou didn't treat you? And Immortal Wang pointed at these people and said angrily. In an instant, the faces of those onlookers instantly turned red. However, after the shame, there was a naked anger after being exposed. Who are you, little girl? So many things? Do you want a beating? Little girl, you have to be taught a lesson. The surrounding people kept talking, and one of the women flew into a rage from embarrassment and threw a slap at Wang Xianwang. Pa! A crisp slap sounded. Then everyone saw that the woman was sent flying with a slap. The person who sent her flying was a tall and burly man. How dare you hit my daughter? Do you want to die? The burly man's voice was like thunder. He was Wang Jingxian's father. He threw the woman out with a punch. Patriarch Wang. Instantly, everyone recognized the identity of the Wang family's head. They all bowed respectfully to the Wang clan head. Each and every one of them lowered their heads and avoided his gaze, not daring to look him in the eye. Everyone had seen the woman's fate, and they were all afraid. Bullying the weak and bullying the strong, rotten bones. Looking at these people, the Wang clan leaders sneered and cursed before walking towards the King Realm Immortal. My dear daughter, why didn't you tell father that you were coming out? Father would have sent someone to protect you. The Wang family head said gently. He was like a completely different person from before. What he had now was just an extremely warm father. Could he be as fierce and brave as he was a moment ago? Father, I've made you worry. Wang Jingxian lowered his head apologetically. My dear daughter, you almost scared me to death. The Wang family head smiled faintly, his expression turning extremely gentle. There was a commotion downstairs. Xiao Changtian rested for a while and woke up. He pushed the window open, wanting to see what was happening below. As soon as he saw it, he saw Wang Miaoshou kneeling below. When she saw him, her face seemed to be filled with joy. Then she respectfully shouted, Wang Miaoshou requests to be my disciple. After saying that, he even bowed 3 times and kowtowed 9 times. Xiao Changtian frowned. What was he doing? Could it be that he wants to take me as his master because of my high medical skills? The old man was already so old. It wasn't a good idea to worship him, right? Xiao Changtian was about to say something, but the old man stood up. Suddenly, a mechanical voice sounded. Ding. System quest. Take Wang Miaoshou as a disciple. Reward, Fighting Buddha 11. Quote. It was the same department that issued the mission again. Wait for me? Fighting Buddha? It can't be another little monkey, right? This time Xiao Changtian had learned his lesson and guessed the system's trick. A chicken was called a phoenix and a kitten was called a divine beast, a white tiger. The winning Buddha did not even need to think about it. It was definitely not a hired thug for him, but the cub of a little monkey. Ding. However, the system emphasized it again. Go to hell. Xiao Changtian was furious. He immediately told the system to scram. Helplessly, since the system had issued a disciple recruitment mission, he could only accept it. Fortunately, this Wang Miaoshu was only a mortal. Moreover, he should be here to learn medical skills. It just so happened that his medical skills had reached a great success, so it would not be a problem for him to take in a disciple. In his previous life as a gardener, he naturally knew many stories about elders seeking guidance from young people. It was even called a beautiful story. He could accept it. Moreover, this old man was so old, yet he was able to put down his dignity and come to seek a teacher to learn medicine. He must be someone with a strong will. Such people all carried a noble quality. I can accept you as my disciple, but you have to answer one question of mine. Xiao Changtian walked down from upstairs and came to Wang Miaoshu. Seeing Xiao Changtian come down personally, the great sun immortal couldn't sit still anymore. He opened the window and looked down. Seeing Xiao Changtian come out and being reminded by Kai that he was his savior, state immortal Wang wanted to go up and express his gratitude. However, he was stopped by the Wang family head. Wait a moment. The Wang family head was experienced and naturally understood that he could not be disturbed at this time. Hearing Xiao Changtian's words, Wang Miaoshu was delighted. It was a rare opportunity to be able to follow such a senior and improve his medical skills. Your medical skills are above mine, but I haven't officially acknowledged you as my master, so I'll call you senior first. Senior, please enlighten me. Wang Miaoshu knelt on the ground, showing his courtesy and respect. However, at this moment he was a little nervous. It was as if he had returned to the time when he first became a doctor. At that time he was also so nervous, afraid that he could not answer his teacher's questions. However, he quickly adjusted his state of mind and listened to Xiao Changtian's question seriously. Xiao Changtian saw Wang Miaoshu's serious face and listened respectfully. He said, "My question is very simple but also very difficult. I want you to answer it sincerely." "Yes, I am. Regardless of whether I can become a senior's disciple or not, one will answer with all my heart." Wang Miaoshu said respectfully. "Yes." Xiao Changtian nodded and said in a deep voice, "Then let me ask you, why did you acknowledge me as your master?" Chapter 83, The Young Master has returned and Chapter 83, The Young Master has returned and slaughtered the Chiu family. _I. Why did you acknowledge me as your master? Xiao Changtian's voice fell, and the entire courtyard was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Wang Jingxian's face was fair and tender, and her eyebrows were tightly knitted. She did not understand why her benefactor would ask such a question. Shouldn't a doctor's apprenticeship be to test and teach some difficult medical skills? In the attic, the face of the great sun immortal also darkened. Senior actually planned to take a mortal as a disciple. The Tianyuan continent was a continent of cultivators. When a cultivation sect took in disciples, they would undergo a talent test. The most important thing in cultivation was talent. Hard work was acquired, but talent was innate. The path of cultivation was against the heavens and was extremely difficult. In the cultivation world, it was not as if there were no mortals who had cultivated to become mighty figures. However, such a precedent was as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns among the countless immortal cultivators. There were countless sects on the Tianyuan continent. Which sect would be willing to bet on a 1 in a billion chance? This 1 in a billion chance would have long since buried that sect with time. But, Senior wants to take a mortal as a disciple. The great sun immortal was really hard to fathom. Perhaps this is the thought of the mighty figure. The great sun immortal said with a puzzled expression. Wang Miaoshu, who was kneeling on the ground, looked at Xiao Changtian. He was surprised that Xiao Changtian had asked such a question. He thought that Xiao Changtian would ask some difficult medical questions. Unexpectedly, he actually asked this question. Wang Miaoshu immediately replied, "To learn more powerful medical skills." Wang Miaoshu's voice was sonorous and powerful. His eyes, which had been through countless hardships and had seen countless people's lives, were also extremely firm. He had no other motives. It was just to improve his medical skills. Hearing this, Xiao Changtian asked again, So what if I learn more powerful medical skills? Xiao Changtian stared at Wang Miaoshuo's eyes. It was as if he had a magical power that could see through Wang Miaoshuo's thoughts. To heal the world's injuries and diseases, to make the world free of sickness and pain. Wang Miaoshuo knelt on the ground. Her voice was extremely loud and everyone present could hear it clearly. Wang Miaoshuo is indeed a divine doctor who can bring back the dead. His noble character and magnanimity make me sigh in admiration. A look of admiration appeared on Wang Jingxian's beautiful face. This was a true expert. This was a virtuous person with noble character and integrity. The great sun immortal in the attic nodded. Because he could tell that Wang Miaoshuo was not lying. A mortal in front of him would not have the chance to lie. There aren't many people like this anymore. The grand sun immortal just sighed and didn't say anything. He was an immortal cultivator. Although he admired this kind of integrity, he did not agree with it. If one wanted to survive in the cruel world of cultivation, one had to have means. At the same time, they were ruthless. Such a sage would definitely not have survived. Good. Then I'll take you in as my disciple. Xiao Changtian saw the sincerity in his eyes and instantly understood that this was a pure old man, an old man who purely learned medicine and saved people. Even in his previous life, the planet was much more peaceful than the Tianyuan continent, but there were not many doctors who could maintain such a reputation. To be able to hand over his medical skills to such a person was a blessing. From now on you will be our second disciple. I'll teach you medicine. Xiao Changtian said with a long voice. He stretched out a hand and helped Wang Miaoshuo up. Thank you, master. Wang Miaoshuo was overjoyed when he heard this. It was his fortune to be able to learn the medical skills of the officials from his senior. Only after the disciple recruitment was completed did the Wang family members walk over with smiles on their faces. Thank you for saving my daughter. I am Wang Jingwei, a member of the royal family of Longevity Town. Master Wang's voice was loud and clear. He stood in front of Xiao Changtian and cupped his fists to thank him. He had a respectful expression on his face. Doctors won't leave people in the lurch. Xiao Changtian looked at the Wang family head calmly. He had the medical skills of a minister and could save people. However, he was not a famous doctor who could cure the world. He was also a mortal, an ordinary person and could not cultivate. The Wang family head in front of him was obviously from a wealthy family, so he should also collect some medical fees. But you saved me. No matter what, please let me repay you for this favor. Wang Jingxian stood up and said gratefully. In that case, pay me 10 taels of gold. Xiao Changtian didn't refuse and said directly. Good. As Xiao Changtian's voice fell, Wang Jingxian took out 10 taels of gold from his sleeve without even blinking. Senior, thank you for saving my life. State Immortal Wang respectfully handed over 10 taels of gold to Xiao Changtian. Yes. Xiao Changtian nodded and accepted the gold taels, a satisfied expression on his face. This woman in front of him knew how to repay kindness. At least he did not save her in vain. In that case, let me tell you something else. The reason why you suddenly fainted was because an expert attacked in secret and caused your heart to explode. As for who this expert is, that's your business. Xiao Changtian said calmly. He discovered this problem during the process of treating Wang Jingxian. The injuries on the King Realm Immortal's body were sudden. Previously he had already felt that something was wrong. Now, since Wang Jingxian's father had come and paid him 10 taels of gold, he had no choice but to leave. In that case it was time to tell him about this matter. Follow me upstairs. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking, he glanced at Wang Miaoshuo and brought him upstairs. On the spot. He left behind a puzzled Wang Jing Immortal and the Wang family's patriarch with a murderous expression. Someone actually dared to lay a hand on my daughter. After saying that, the head of the Wang family took out a jade token. The jade token was crystal clear and resplendent, and there was a green light circulating on it. Then the Wang clan walked out of the inn and said something to the jade token. At the same time, Lin family. In the disciple hall. A young man in a green robe was waving a long sword in his hand. There were a few drops of sweat on his forehead as he was cultivating seriously. Suddenly, on the jade pendant at his waist, a green light lit up, and then the Wang family's voice sounded. After hearing the Wang clan's patriarch's voice transmission, the youth was instantly enraged. This is really preposterous. Someone actually dared to lay a hand on my sister. They really are tired of living. The young man was extremely furious. He swung his sword at a stone stool in front of him. With a splat, the stone stool in front of him shattered into two halves. When I return, one will tear the person in the dark into pieces. Chapter 84. Chapter 84. Master is an immortal cultivator. Chapter 84. Master is an immortal cultivator. At this moment, in Longevity Town, Chiu family. The man in black sat on a chair in front of the hall with a leisurely expression. Chiu family head, I helped you settle that girl from the Wang family. Now it's time to pay me, right? The man in black said with a smile. Don't worry, I won't owe you anything. The Chiu family head smiled as well. He held 2 jade walnuts in his hand and kept spinning them. Immediately after, he clapped his hands. A thin servant walked out with a tray in his hand. The tray was covered with a red cloth. This is your reward, the Chiu family head said with a smile. He waved his hand and asked the servant to put the tray on the ground. Thank you, Chiu family head, the black man said with a smile. He was an immortal cultivator, and his cultivation was at the 5th level of the Golden Core realm. The son of the Chiu family's head had also been defeated by the Lin family. The Chiu family head and the Wang family head were sworn enemies to begin with. Their sons were naturally in the Lin family and were also fighting for an inner sect disciple spot at the same time. However, Wang Jingtian was even more powerful than Chiu Qin. Therefore, in order for Chiu Qin to enter the inner sect, the Chiu family's head found an immortal cultivator and secretly attacked state immortal Wang. Wang Jingtian attached great importance to his sister. If he knew that something had happened to his sister, Wang Jingtian would definitely rush back from the Lin family. During this period of time, it was coincidentally the Lin family's inner sect disciple selection meeting. Without Wang Jingtian as an opponent, his son Chiu Qin and Jiu would definitely be able to enter the Lin family's inner sect. At that time, with the support of the inner sect's resources, his son Chiu Qin would be able to surpass Wang Jingtian in the shortest time possible. The Chiu family's status in Longevity Town would surpass that of the Wang family. At that time, no one would say that he was second Chiu. The most important thing was, the person holding the tray was an expert Chiu Qin had found, Golden Core State Level 9. His strength could not be underestimated. As long as Wang Jingtian dared to come back, he would definitely avenge his sister. As long as he spread the news that this matter was related to the Chiu family, Wang Jingtian would definitely come to the Chiu family to demand an explanation. When the time came, he would arrange for this servant to ambush Wang Jingtian in secret and kill him in one fell swoop, eliminating any future troubles. As for the black-robed cultivator in front of him, kill him. The Chiu family head sneered. The servant nodded, and the red cloth on the plate instantly flew up. A dagger appeared on the plate. What? The black-robed cultivator was shocked and was about to use the spiritual chi in his body to defend himself. However, a cold light flashed on the dagger. This black-robed cultivator was only Golden Core State Level 5, but this servant was Golden Core State Level 9. There was only a difference of 4 levels. Moreover, this servant had sneakily attacked him. The dagger instantly flew out, and a cold light of death slashed across the black-robed cultivator's neck. The black-robed cultivator fell to the ground and died. The fewer people who know about this, the better. Let's bury him, the Chiu family head said indifferently. In his hands, the 2 jadeite walnuts were still being coiled. Butler, go and spread the news that the Chiu family secretly attacked. Qin has already sent me the news that Wang Jingtian of the Wang family is already on his way back. At the same time, Wang clan, the head of the Wang family, was furious. In front of him, Butler Wang told him everything he had heard. As expected, it's this Chiu family who doesn't have good intentions. When one come back, I'll definitely make the Chiu family pay the price, the patriarch of the Wang family said angrily. In the inn, Xiao Changtian brought Wang Miaoshu to his room. Have a seat, Xiao Changtian said lightly, gesturing for Wang Miaoshu to sit down. Then he took out a book from his bag. This was a medical book that he had written on a daily basis. When his medical skills were at their peak, he had once considered opening a small clinic to solve his own food and clothing problem. However, his medical skills were too high, and the residents of Dayang Town were all strong. Other than some minor injuries, illnesses, or some congenital diseases, almost no one fell sick within a few years. This made him feel awkward. However, when he was free, he would still record the prescriptions he had comprehended or the improved medical methods in the medical books. It even included some methods to improve his physical condition. Once, he even fantasized about using his superb medical skills to cleanse himself. Moreover, the process was well recorded in medical books. The process was extremely detailed. However, he had experimented on his own, soaking himself in medicinal herbs and even opening all his acupoints. The experiment went smoothly. The medicinal liquid entered his acupuncture points and flowed through his meridians and blood. However, he didn't feel anything strange at all. It was like having a transfusion. It was like a small stream flowing into a river. Nothing happened. His body constitution did not change either. From then on, he understood that it must be this stupid system's doing. If he did not complete the mission, he would not be allowed to cultivate. Therefore, he firmly believed that only by completing the system's mission could he open his path to invincibility. This is a medical book that one wrote myself. I'll pass it to you today. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Wang Miaoshu received the medical book respectfully with an excited expression. His master's medical skills were much higher than his. Then, the book written by his master must be his master's medical experience and treatment. How could he not be excited about such a book? Alright, there are no rules for becoming my disciple. You just have to study this medical book seriously. I want to rest, you can go back. Xiao Changtian casually explained 2 sentences before giving the order to leave. It was already late. It was his resting time now. Yes. Wang Miaoshu replied respectfully. He took the medical book and slowly left Xiao Changtian's room. Master's medical books, I must study them carefully. Even if I don't have much time left, how can one be defeated by time when one study medicine? Wang Miao held the medical book in her hand, and her eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He had to study medicine seriously and meticulously. Very quickly. He stayed in an inn beside Xiao Changtian and opened the medical book. This is Cleansing the Marrow and Changing Fate. Wang Miaoshu was stunned. He looked at everything in front of him in disbelief. What was recorded in the book was clearly a supreme marrow cleansing technique. Master is a cultivator? Chapter 85, Because They Saw It, 1. Chapter 85, Because They Saw It, 1. Wang Miaoshu cried out in surprise. Because the medical book in front of him was too unbelievable. On the first page of the medical book, it recorded a type of marrow cleansing technique. Moreover, this kind of cleansing did not require those natural treasures. It only required ordinary herbs. Most importantly, it was acupuncture. As long as he could open all those acupoints, he could completely cleanse his essence and change his physique. This? Wang Miaoshu looked at the page in a daze. He was dumbfounded. Could it be that master is a Xiaoxianist? But I did not feel any power in the poet. What is going on? Wang Miaoshu was puzzled. He found it hard to understand. At this moment, whoosh, a figure appeared in front of him like a gust of wind. And you are? Wang Miaoshu looked at Immortal Daong in front of him with a puzzled expression. However, he was extremely vigilant in his heart. Because the Great Sun Immortal had suddenly appeared in front of him, it was enough to prove that the Great Sun Immortal was an immortal cultivator. Ordinary people facing immortal cultivators. In the end, there was an insurmountable fear. Wang Miaoshu, don't be nervous. One came with Senior, who is also your master. The Great Sun Immortal explained and cupped his hands at the same time, showing his respect to the room Xiao Changtian was in. Hearing the explanation of the Great Sun Immortal, Wang Miaoshu nodded and felt relieved. Senior, may I ask if my master? Wang Miaoshu wanted to ask about Xiao Changtian. However, the Great Sun Immortal interrupted him. Don't call me Senior. You actually became Senior's disciple, and your future achievements will be above mine. Senior is the most powerful person on the Tianyuan continent. There is no other. The Great Sun Immortal said affirmatively with an extremely respectful expression on his face. What? Master is actually so powerful. Mine. I actually thought he was just a mortal. Wang Miaoshu said in disbelief. Instantly, a look of shame appeared on his old face. It's fine. Senior wouldn't care about these empty formalities. Moreover, he is now hiding in the mortal world and playing around. He calls himself a mortal to the outside world. Obviously, he doesn't want to be disturbed by the mundane affairs of the cultivation world. The great Sun Immortal explained again. 1c. After listening to the description of the great Yang, Wang Miaoshou nodded. He was even more respectful towards Xiao Changtian. No wonder his master was able to record the heaven-defying medical skill of cleansing the marrow in his medical skills. So he wanted to open up his meridians and cultivate. Thank you, master. Wang Miaoshou respectfully bowed in the direction of Xiao Changtian's room. In that case, one wonder if you can help me cleanse my marrow? Wang Miaoshou looked at the great Sun Immortal. You want to go through a cleansing process. The immortal De Yang was stunned. How could a mortal be cleansed? Moreover, Wang Miaoshou was already very old. The process of marrow cleansing was still the process of body reconstruction. Bones, muscles, and blood essence would all be greatly impacted. With Wang Miaoshou's current physical condition, there was no way he could withstand such an impact. I only need Senior to protect me. Master has already prepared everything for me. Wang Miaoshou said again. So Senior has already made arrangements. Since that's the case, I'll protect you. The great Sun Immortal nodded. On this day, a green-robed young man wielding a sword returned to Changxing town. Father, sister, since we already know that it was the Qiu family who did this, let's go and settle the score with them now. Wang Jingtian said in a deep voice. The long sword in his hand had already been unsheathed, and sword intent spread out. Soon after, the mighty Wang family members headed straight for the Qiu family. Old Qiu, get out here. Wang Jingtian's face was filled with anger. He slashed his sword at the Qiu family's main gate, splitting it open. Second young master is mighty. Second young master is domineering. Second young master is the best. Instantly, the servants of the Wang family saw this scene and were so excited that they screamed. His second young master was indeed incomparably mighty. When had they ever seen the methods of immortal cultivators? This sword had split the door open, instantly arousing their envy and worship. Even the head of the Wang family revealed an extremely satisfied expression. This son of his was born with outstanding talent and seemed to have entered the Lin family. One had to know that in the West Bull continent, the Lin family was one of the 4 great families. To be able to become a disciple of one of the 4 great clans was a supreme honor for a small border town like Changxing town. The Wang clan was the #1 clan in Longevity town. It was because Wang Jingtian had entered the Lin family and become an outer sect disciple of the Lin family. Let's enter. Wang Jingtian said proudly. He led everyone in with an extremely interesting expression on his face. Immediately after, everyone from the Wang family followed. Everyone looked at Wang Jingtian's back, and their chests subconsciously puffed up. It was their fortune to be able to follow such an expert. Where is the Qiu family? He walked into the Qiu family's courtyard, but he saw that there was no one in the huge courtyard. What happened? The patriarch of the Wang family was also puzzled and could not help but ask. At this moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared. The black shadow's speed was extremely fast. A magic treasure was directly thrown down. Instantly, everyone from the Wang family was directly trapped in a light screen, unable to move. Expert. Seeing this scene, Wang Jingtian's expression changed because he felt a threat. The black shadow was faster than him. He could not help but frown. However, as a disciple of the Lin family, he had a sense of pride in his heart. He immediately waved the long sword in his hand and stabbed out a sword chi towards the black shadow. Sword aura. Just as it was about to stab the phantom. But suddenly the black figure dodged the sword chi. Sword chi howled. It stabbed into a wooden stake. The wooden stake was directly torn into 2 halves and then ground into pieces by the sword chi. What kind of hero is hiding? Get out here. Wang Jingtian was furious. Soon after, it directly activated the sword technique he had learned in the Lin family. Sword shadows. As he shouted, countless sword chi appeared around him. Those sword chi formed a cage and instantly flew out. To die. Wang Jingtian said angrily. The sword wills were like dense raindrops. However, in the next moment, everyone present was shocked by the scene in front of them. Because they saw. Chapter 86. The Chiu family hiding their strength, young master is going to be defeated. I. Chapter 86. The Chiu family hiding their strength, young master is going to be defeated. I. Ding. The whistling sword chi. It was directly shattered by the black-robed man's punch. In an instant, the sound of fine iron breaking rang out. After the sword chi shattered, the long sword in Wang Jingtian's hand also broke. What? How is this possible? My young master is invincible. How could he be defeated? Young master, take out all your strength and kill this person in front of you. The servants of the Wang family shouted one after another. They couldn't believe that their invincible young master's weapon was actually broken by someone. It must be because young master didn't use his full strength earlier. There's no need to show mercy. Bring out all your strength. The head of the Wang clan also thought so. In his opinion, his son being able to enter the Lin family and become an outer disciple meant that he was an invincible existence in Longevity Town. Even Qiu Qin of the Qiu family was no match for his son Wang Jingze. Only the King Realm Immortal had a hint of worry on his face. Because he saw Wang Jingtian's expression. He saw Jingtian Wang clenching his teeth. In the Wang family, she had the best relationship with Wang Jingtian and was also the most familiar with her younger brother. Every time his younger brother gritted his teeth, it was when he encountered difficulties. Now that Wang Jingtian was clenching his teeth, it meant that he had no chance of winning against the enemy in front of him. Little brother, do you want to cancel? Let's go first. Wang Jingxian could not help but say. No. However, Wang Jingtian refused loudly. Sister, you were secretly attacked and almost lost your life. One must avenge you. Don't worry. I became an outer sect disciple of the Lin family because I had an ultimate technique. Wang Jingtian said coldly. Immediately after. He looked at the servant in front of him and the corners of his mouth curled up. If my guess is correct, you are also a member of one of the 4 great clans. Moreover, your cultivation is at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm, which is higher than mine. The servant chuckled and said, your guess is correct, but this doesn't change the fact that you're going to be killed today. As he spoke, the servant's hand was like an eagle's claw as he directly locked onto Wang Jingtian's neck. Humph! Don't be arrogant. I must kill you today. Wang Jingtian shouted angrily. A silver light lit up around him. A silver light shone. A long sword appeared in his sleeve again. The long sword was accompanied by a silver light as it pierced out at an extremely fast speed. Instantly, the space was filled with the shadow of this silver long sword. This is my ultimate technique, myriad returning swords. Wang Jingtian laughed loudly. He controlled the sword in his hand, and the sword shadows also swayed. Under the sword intent, the entire Qiu family courtyard shook violently. Some buildings were even crushed into pieces because they could not withstand the pressure. Whoa, that was great. Second young master has finally used his ultimate technique. Our second young master is cultivating in the Lin family. How can he not be powerful? 1, 2, 3, I can't even count these swords. There seem to be tens of thousands of them. If one stab him with this sword, I'll turn that person into a porcupine. Ah, that's right, that's right. Everyone from the Wang family looked at the sword chi phantom in the sky and laughed loudly. They were once again filled with confidence. Including Wang Jingtian. The corners of his mouth also curled up. This was his ultimate technique. He could even fight those at a higher level. It was not difficult for him to kill some low-level nascent soul cultivators. Slash. Wang Jingtian shouted and slashed down with the sword in his hand, accompanied by tens of thousands of sword shadows in the sky. Countless sword intents descended from the 9 heavens. However, facing this terrifying power, the person opposite him suddenly smiled contemptuously. He only punched out once. Boom. The terrifying fist intent directly collided with the sword shadows that filled the sky, emitting a violent explosion. Kacha. The tens of thousands of sword essences began to make cracking sounds. Bang 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 bang. The sword intent shattered. That punch followed and landed heavily on Wang Jingtian's chest. Puff. Wang Jingtian spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out like a deflated ball. One could even hear the sound of bones cracking in his chest. What is it? Second young master. Jing Zhe. Little brother. Everyone from the Wang family was instantly shocked and looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. His invincible second young master was actually stepped on by that person, covered in blood. Ah! Wang Piaofu, your Wang clan is destined to be destroyed by my Chiu clan today. At this moment the Chiu family head walked out of nowhere. In his hands he was still holding the jade walnuts. A sinister smile appeared on his face as he stared at Wang Jingtian and said, "If you want to compete with my son Chiu Chen for the inner disciple spot, then you will only die." Attack. The Chiu family head sneered and gave the order to attack. Yes. The 9th stage Golden Core Realm Cultivator answered, so he raised his fist and aimed it at Wang Jingtian's head. As long as his fist landed, Wang Jingtian would die. Don't kill my son. If you have any problems, come at me. The head of the Wang family roared loudly and punched the array barrier. Unfortunately, he was still immortal and could not break the array set up by the immortal cultivators. Oh, then kneel down for me first. The Chiu family head was determined to win. With a gesture, he stopped the 9th level Golden Core expert from attacking. He looked at the Wang family head with disdain. It was now. He wanted to humiliate the Wang clan's patriarch. You. Hearing that the Chiu family head wanted him to kneel down, the Wang family's faces immediately showed anger. However, Wang Jingtian was in the hands of a 9th level Golden Core cultivator. If he wasn't expensive, it was very likely that his son would die on the spot. At the thought of this, the Wang clan could only nod and agree. Do you want me to kneel before you? Let my son go. The Chiu family head laughed disdainfully and nodded casually. All right, then I'll kneel. The face of the Wang clan's patriarch darkened, and he immediately agreed. For the sake of Wang Jingtian's life, he could only put down all his dignity now. No, father. When Wang Jingtian saw this scene, he instantly gritted his teeth and his eyes turned red. He burned the last drop of blood essence in his body and instantly flew into a rage. He stood up. He threw a punch at the Chiu family head. However, the 9th level Golden Core expert slapped his chest and Wang Jingtian fell to the ground again. Then let's kill him first. When the Chiu family's head saw this scene, he was also extremely angry and said directly, yes. The 9th stage Golden Core cultivator raised his hand and was about to kill Wang Jingtian. Chapter 87 Marrow Cleansing Body Refining Mastery. Chapter 87 Marrow Cleansing Body Refining Mastery. Coming to the Rescue, 1. In Wang Miaoshuo's pavilion. At this moment, the mist was rising, and the temperature in the room had risen to an extreme. The great sun immortal stood in front of Mu Tong like a furnace. Wang Miaoshuo was soaked in the big tree branch. Her skin was red and her body was covered in silver needles. The silver needle trembled slightly, and traces of blood seeped out from the surface of his body. The blood fused with the medicinal liquid in Mu Tong and began to flow through his meridians and body. Wang Miaoshuo's entire body was soaked in the big tree branch. His face was flushed red, and his entire face was filled with extreme pain. His expression was ferocious and his teeth were about to crack. He gritted his teeth. It could be clearly seen that the medicinal liquid was like little bugs in Wang Miaoshuo's skin. It traveled through his body, bones and blood. Can you still hold on? The great sun immortal watched from the side, his eyebrows twitching. This method of cleansing the marrow was different from the method of cleansing the tendons and marrow of immortal cultivators. However, the pain they suffered was even greater than that of immortal cultivators. I can do it. For the sake of learning to become more powerful in medical skills, for the sake of having no more patients in this world. I can definitely do it. Wang Miaoshuo endured the pain and muttered. All right, then I'll go all out. As soon as the great sun immortal said that, a shadow of a sun appeared behind the elder. As soon as the sun shadow appeared, the water inside Mu Tong instantly became extremely hot. It was like lava as it shook violently. Wang Miaoshuo was already old. Under the stimulation of the boiling medicinal liquid, his wrinkled skin turned red. Wang Miaoshuo shouted even more, letting out a miserable cry that sounded like a pig being slaughtered. However, his voice was blocked by the immortal of Dayang. After all, he couldn't disturb the seniors. Along the way there were several times when Wang Miaoshuo wanted to jump out. Because the temperature was too high, the medicinal liquid rushed into his body, making him suffer. However, the immortal De Yang pressed him back in. Wang Miaoshu had previously begged the immortal De Yang to press him in if such a situation occurred. Ah. Ah. All. Inside Mu Tong, Wang Miaoshu let out a tearing scream that sounded like a pig being slaughtered. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. The time was short, but it felt like years. Suddenly, the medicinal liquid in the wooden barrel was all absorbed by Wang Miaoshu. Wang Miaoshu's body began to emit a pure golden light. Every inch of his pores enlarged and expanded again. His skin turned from red to smooth, fair, and supple like a newborn baby. The black and white strands of hair that filled the sky began to turn black and beautiful. His entire body emitted a unique vitality. Mastery of body refinement. Looking at Wang Miaoshu in front of him, an incredulous expression appeared on the face of the great Sun Immortal. These mere mortal medicines could actually cleanse the tendons and marrow of a mortal old man to such an extent. The great Sun Immortal looked at Wang Miaoshu in front of him with a terrified expression. The power of blood essence from the great success of body tempering had already made him feel a suffocating pressure. In Xiao Changtian's room, Fatty Rongrong sat on the ground, her arms drooping, her face docile. Just now he had witnessed the phoenix divine fire, black tortoise divine water, and the heaven-swallowing dog's mighty power. They had hammered every inch of Wang Miaoshu's bones, skin, and flesh millions of times. Moreover, the chaos ant used its spatial divine power to compress thousands of years into 2 hours. Sob, sob, sob. Fatty Rongrong sat paralyzed on the ground. He was an iron-eating beast, so he followed his heart. He was frightened by his brothers. He could only let out an involuntary sound. Since Master's disciple wants to cleanse his essence and marrow, he naturally wants the best. Black Tortoise said indifferently. This time, at least his strength is about the same as that little kid Mu. Zhuang's, although he's still an ant. Phoenix raised her proud head. In fact, when the great Sun Immortal attacked, the Black Tortoise, the Phoenix, the Heaven-devouring dog and the Chaos Ant were all attacking. However, the power was too strong and the laws were of a higher level, so the great Sun Immortal naturally could not sense it. Phew. At this moment, Wang Miaoshu was sitting on the ground, gasping for breath. He felt as if his entire body had an inexhaustible power that wanted to explode. In fact, those powers were swimming around in his body, urging him to make a move. I can't take it anymore. I can't hold it in anymore. Wang Miaoshu shouted. With a stomp of his feet, his entire body shot out of the window like a cannonball. At the same time, in the Chiu family's courtyard, the 9th stage Golden Core expert's expression was vicious. The true qi in his hand condensed into a palm blade and was about to slash at Wang Jingtian. The speed of this blade was extremely fast, and it even brought about a sonic boom in space. No, please don't. When the Wang family members saw this scene, they all screamed in anguish. Hee scream scream. Even if you scream your lungs out, no one will come to save you. Ah. The Chiu family head had an arrogant expression on his face. His eyes were filled with greed. From now on, he was the supreme existence in the entire Longevity Town. The era of the Wang clan's rule had passed. The head of the Chiu family laughed loudly. The annihilation of the Wang family was a sure thing. Unless a miracle happened. Immortal cultivators? At this moment, Wang Miaoshu, who was flying in the air, saw the Xiaxianist in the Chiu family courtyard killing people. Instantly, he found a target to vent his anger on. He couldn't hold it in anymore. There was an infinite amount of energy in his body that was about to burst out. His arm pressed down and instantly fell, directly pinching the arm of the Golden Core State Level 9 expert. Who are you? Seeing that his arm was being pinched, the 9th level Golden Core expert was instantly shocked. This was because he felt a terrifying force gripping his arm tightly, making him unable to move at all. Why did you kill him? Wang Miaoshu stared coldly at this Golden Core State Level 9 expert and asked in a deep voice. One can kill you if I want to. What does it have to do with you? The 9th stage Golden Core expert snorted coldly and activated the true essence around his body. In an instant, the entire Chiu family shook violently. He stomped down, and the entire Chiu family caved in with him as the center, forming a huge pit. He wanted to use this method to break free from Wang Miaoshu's restraints. Not good run. He wants to burn his essence blood. Wang Jingtian, who was lying on the ground, exclaimed with worry in his eyes. Everyone from the Wang family and the Chiu family's patriarch had terrified expressions. This was going to be the real deal. Chapter 88. Chapter 88. Is it Wang Miaoshu? Is his master a peerless? Chapter 88. Is it Wang Miaoshu? Is his master a peerless? Expert. _I. He go ahead. I'll wait. Wang Miaoshu stood on the spot, motionless like a mountain. This was the first time he felt the feeling of having power. It was actually so wonderful. Master is really incomparably powerful. Wang Miaoshu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The contents recorded on the first page of his master's medical skills were already so terrifying. He really could not imagine how powerful his master's medical skills were. In fact, he couldn't wait to go back and study it seriously. Body cultivator, although your blood essence is strong, in front of my star-shattering hammer, your body is just a decoration. The 9th stage golden core cultivator realized that he couldn't break free from Wang Miaoshu's control. Hence, a ray of light lit up on the ring. Then a scarlet hammer appeared in his hand. Hammer's head was extremely sharp, emitting a cold light. The hammer smashed down on Wang Miaoshu. Not good, meteor shield. Seeing the hammer fall, Wang Jingtian, who was lying on the ground, changed his expression drastically. As an immortal cultivator in the Lin family, he naturally knew that immortal cultivators had once developed a magic treasure that could resist body refinement cultivators. Amongst them, the star-shattering hammer was a middle-grade spirit weapon. He immediately took out his meteor shield. It's the young master's meteor shield. It was given to him by his master. That's right, this shield was able to destroy a mountain in the past. It's extremely hard. Everyone from the Wang family looked at the scene in front of them with worry. If Wang Jingtian had taken out this shield before, they would have cheered and jumped for joy. However, at this moment they felt that this shield was nothing in front of that hammer. Gotcha. As expected, just as everyone was done with their doubts, they saw the hammer's attack land on the meteor shield. The flying star shield that was so hard that it could smash mountains before. In an instant, it shattered like paper. It's over. Everything is over. Everyone in the Wang family closed their eyes one after another, not daring to watch the bloody scene that was about to happen. Die. So what if you're a body cultivator? In front of me you're just a pile of scrap metal. The cultivator at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm sneered. He even saw that Wang Miaoshu did not dodge or resist. His face was filled with ecstasy. When this hammer fell, it would definitely tear this troublemaker in front of him into pieces. Clang. The hammer hit Wang Miaoshu's body, making a metallic sound. However, there was no scream. Instead, a terrified voice sounded. How is that possible? How is this possible? The 9th level Golden Core cultivator's terrified voice rang out. He saw that when the star-shattering hammer smashed onto the surface of Wang Miaoshu's body, sparks actually appeared. As for the star-shattering hammer, it shattered into 2 halves. You. The Golden Core State Level 9 stared at Wang Miaoshu with fear in his eyes. He was completely dumbfounded and could only say one sentence. Cruel murder. There's no cure for a person like you. Wang Miaoshu said coldly. He squeezed his wrist slightly and instantly, the huge force broke the bones of the 9th level Golden Core cultivator. At the same time he threw another punch. Bang. The Golden Core State Level 9 exploded into a cloud of blood mist instantly. How is that possible? That's Golden Core State Level 9, who are you? Why did you save the Wang clan? The Chiu family head's face was filled with disbelief. This Golden Core State Level 9 was found by Chiu Chen. Moreover, it was under Chiu Chen's master's instructions. But now he was actually killed by a single punch. It was over. This was the only thought in the head of the Chiu family. Yes, Wang Miaoshu? You are Wang Miaoshu. At this moment, Wang Jingxian looked at the person in front of her and frowned. She felt that she had seen this man somewhere before. However, the current Wang Miaoshu could be said to be dozens of times younger than before. It could be said that he had returned to his youth from the state of 80 years old. He was in his prime and he was handsome. He had the image of a peerless young master. It was completely different from the old man's gray temples. However, between his brows Wang Xian also asked in puzzlement. She noticed the temperament between Wang Miaoshu's brows, so she asked in surprise and confusion. Wang Miao's hand. Xian, what nonsense are you talking about? How can it be Wang Miaoshu? The head of the Wang family shook his head and quickly walked over to help Wang Jingtian up. Suddenly, Wang Miaoshu stopped him. His injuries are very serious. He asked me to treat him first. Wang Miaoshu said directly. Wang Jingtian's current injuries were extremely serious. If he were to casually touch him, his life might be in danger. At this moment, the great Sun Immortal followed. So you ran here. I thought something had happened. If something happens to you, how am I going to explain it to Senior? Taoist Big Sun looked at Wang Miaoshu, who was full of blood and qi, and heaved a sigh of relief. This person is injured. My current medical skills are still unable to treat him. Wang Miaoshu looked at the great Sun Immortal. Don't worry. The great Sun Immortal glanced at Wang Jingtian and said lightly. He took out a pill from his ring and fed it to Wang Jingtian. Wang Miaoshu, who was looking at the great Sun Immortal and listening to him talk about medical skills. Everyone looked at Wang Miaoshu in disbelief. Is it really Wang Miaoshu? Instantly, everyone exclaimed. Wasn't the person in front of him Wang Miaoshu? Although he looked younger, his face shape was still recognizable. What is going on? Wasn't Wang Miaoshu an old man before? How did he become so young now? This is really strange. Isn't this too ridiculous? What's going on? Everyone in the Wang family began to discuss, their faces filled with disbelief. Cough cough. At this moment Wang Jingtian woke up. Everyone from the Wang family hurriedly helped him up. You don't need to help me up. My injuries have all healed. Who saved me? Where's that benefactor from before? Wang Jingtian asked curiously. Little brother, it's Wang Miao. As he spoke, he suddenly realized that Wang Miaoshu and Taoist De Yang had already disappeared. Strange, where did he go? State Immortal Wang scratched his head in confusion. Then she told Wang Jingtian the whole story. What? Sister, according to what you said, the master of Wang Miaoshu's benefactor is a decision-making expert. At the very least, he's a tribulation transcendence expert, the peak of the continent. Wang Jingtian was stunned when he heard that. Chapter 89. I'm sorry I've insulted you with Goldel Eye. Chapter 89. I'm sorry I've insulted you with Goldel Eye. A tribulation transcendence expert? Isn't that the most powerful person in the entire continent? Everyone from the Wang family was directly stunned. The most surprised were the Wang family's head and the Wang realm immortal. How is that possible? I looked at that Senior was clearly immortal? The aura on his body is no different from that of a mortal? The head of the Wang family asked in puzzlement. Yes, brother. At the side, Wang Jingxian also nodded his head with a look of disbelief on his face. His benefactor was actually a peak immortal cultivator on the continent. On the Tianyuan continent, the sect leader of a rank 9 sect was like an emperor to mortals. Not to mention a tribulation transcending expert. In their eyes, that was an immortal. A high and mighty immortal who could crush them to death with a single finger. If Senior had concealed his aura, even I wouldn't have known that Senior was a cultivator, let alone you. In front of that kind of expert, I'm like an ant. Wang Jingtian said solemnly. After hearing Wang Jingtian's words, everyone in the Wang family was shocked. Daughter, quickly go and invite an expert. We have to thank him. We can't let Senior hate us for the 10 gold taels you gave us. The patriarch of the Wang family said in a deep voice, his face filled with anxiety. He had heard that in the eyes of those experts, money was like dirt. In fact, if they used money to express their gratitude to the experts, those experts would think that it was an insult to them. The patriarch of the Wang family thought of this, and the cold sweat on his back directly drenched his clothes. It was too terrifying. He had almost offended a peerless expert. Yes. State Immortal Wang nodded heavily and hurriedly got up to head to the inn. As for the Chiu family head, Wang Jingtian had touched his neck with his sword. At the Longevity Inn. After a night of sleep, Xiao Changtian woke up early. In this life he believed in the principle of early sleep and early rise. In this life he would never stay up late to cultivate. Girl, you're... However, as soon as he went downstairs, he saw Wang Jingxian with a picturesque smile on his face. Senior, it's my fault. Please don't be angry. The moment he saw Xiao Changtian, he immediately knelt down with an extremely regretful expression. In fact, 2 streams of tears flowed down from her delicate eyes. No, what are you doing? Xiao Changtian was dumbfounded. What was going on? Senior, it was my fault before. I shouldn't have used 10 taels of gold to humiliate you. Everything is my fault. Please take your anger out on the Wang family. Wang Jingxian cried loudly. His entire face was covered in tears as he knelt on the ground without moving. He only begged bitterly. Humiliating me with 10 taels of gold? Xiao Changtian was dumbfounded. What the hell? Was 10 taels of gold considered humiliation? Then let the humiliation be more intense. Xiao Changtian thought. Young lady, get up first and speak clearly. Do I look like a fierce demon? Why are you so afraid of me? Xiao Changtian said in confusion. No, no. When Wang Jingxian heard this, he hurriedly shook his head and stood up. I'm just a mortal, why are you so afraid of me? Xiao Changtian shook his head. Mortals? Could it be that Senior is one of those reclusive experts who have achieved great success in his state of mind and returned to his original state? When Jingxian Wang heard Xiao Changtian say that he was a mortal, his face was filled with doubt. He suddenly remembered that the novels he had read seemed to describe this. Realm Immortal Wang was shocked. His entire face suddenly revealed a look of enlightenment. Senior, my father felt that the 10 taels of gold he gave you previously was too little, so he asked me to invite you to the Wang clan for a meal. After understanding the key points, Wang Jing changed his strategy. Such an expert was playing around in the mortal world. The greatest pleasure was to experience the various states of mortals. Therefore, the most important thing now was not the gold or the reward. Instead, it was to be able to have a meal with Senior and leave a good impression in Senior's heart. Treat me to a meal? Xiao Changtian was stunned. Suddenly, his deep eyes lit up. Dinner. Could it be that someone is really eating? Previously, this woman said 10 taels of gold, but she felt that it was too little. Could it be that the head of the Wang family wants to give me a wave of compensation? As Xiao Changtian thought about it, the more he felt this was the truth. All right. Xiao Changtian smiled faintly and agreed. He had to agree to such a thing. Since he had saved someone, how could he refuse if the other party wanted to repay him? Wouldn't this make the other party feel guilty? One had to have a clear mind in order to live. How could he make others unhappy? That's great. Senior, follow me. When Realm Immortal Wang heard this, he was overjoyed. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to really accept it. Since Senior accepted it, it meant that Senior wasn't angry. Senior didn't even take the humiliation of 10 taels of gold to heart. Oh, that's good. Go back and tell father to treat Senior well. Don't give him any more rewards. Jingxian Wang thought to himself and gave the servant outside a look. Soon after, he brought Xiao Changtian along. Daoist big son, my disciple, you guys come too. Bring my kitten down for me. Xiao Changtian nodded his head and shouted at the same time. The kitten was really too young, so he had to feed it himself. Otherwise, it would be very easy for other things to happen. Before opening the path of invincibility, the most important thing for him was to take care of these animals and live a little. Only by lying low could one live to the best of their abilities. Only those who could live to the end had the right to laugh. Xiao Changtian believed this. However, things did not go so smoothly for the great Sun Immortal and Wang Miaoshu in the attic. Master, I don't dare to hug you. Wang Miaoshu's entire body was trembling, and his face was filled with fear. It was too terrifying. The might of that kitten made him, who had reached the great success of body tempering, unable to stand steadily. The great Sun Immortal stood at the side, trembling as well. He could no longer speak. What's there to be afraid of? It's just a kitten. You're a doctor after all? You're even afraid of this? Xiao Changtian was speechless. She turned around and was about to go upstairs to hug him. After all, Immortal De Yang was a powerful immortal cultivator. He could not let him carry a cat for him. However, just as Xiao Changtian regained his senses, he was shocked. Chapter 90. Who exactly is Senior? Chapter 90. Who exactly is Senior? Who are you? Quote. Xiao Changtian looked at Wang Miaoshu in front of him. He was handsome, elegant, and dignified. This was his disciple. Although the bones and faces were very similar, Xiao Changtian was still frightened at first glance. Master, you must be joking. I am your disciple. Wang Miaoshu said with a smile. My disciple? Then how did you become like this? Xiao Changtian couldn't help but ask. Was this still the so-year-old man from before? This was clearly a young man of the same age as him. It was just that he was not as handsome as himself. Compared to him, his temperament was still a little lacking. Master, I did it according to your medical skills. Wang Miaoshu had a bitter expression. Why was his master teasing him? Muscle and marrow cleansing? Xiao Changtian was stunned. Really? It seemed that his guess was right. As expected, it was that stupid system that was limiting his cultivation. Stupid system, come out. One want an explanation. Xiao Changtian was furious. He tried to communicate with the system in his mind. However, what awaited him was silence. Silence was the bridge of the night. Forget it. One was unlucky, quote. Xiao Changtian, who was familiar with the system, could only say helplessly. Thus, Xiao Changtian walked upstairs and held the little white cat in his arms. He looked at Wang Miaoshu and shook his head. Such a big and strong young man was actually afraid of a cat. To be able to pair up with Jiu'er was afraid of the turtle. Very quickly, Xiao Changtian walked down with the white tiger in his arms. Senior, do you also have cats? This little white cat is so beautiful. Looking at the white tiger in Xiao Changtian's hand, Wang Jingxian's face revealed a look of joy and love. He even smiled at the white tiger. Meow. However, the white tiger didn't like anyone except Xiao Changtian. Seeing that Wang Jingxian was actually smiling at him, he immediately called out. Ah! This shout. This caused the King Realm Immortal to shout as well. However, one of them called him casually. One was a scream of terror. The two were completely different types. Wang Jingxian saw a huge white tiger standing in front of her. For some reason, she appeared on a huge and empty plain. That white tiger was the little white cat in front of him. The little white cat's claws were like mountains as it slapped down on her. She was directly slapped away and crushed into a pool of blood mist. She was so frightened that she collapsed on the ground. Her face was pale and her entire body was trembling. Even his breathing became extremely hurried. What's wrong with you? Xiao Changtian asked curiously as he looked at the King Realm Immortal lying on the ground. This girl, when I checked her previously, there was no problem. Anemia? That's not possible. The terrified Realm Immortal Wang heard Xiao Changtian's voice. Suddenly, the huge white tiger that crushed her disappeared. The terrifying pressure that enveloped her instantly dissipated. Phew. Only then was the King Realm Immortal able to turn around. How could he not understand that the white kitten in Senior's arms was a peerless ferocious beast? She had once heard from her younger brother that peerless ferocious beasts were even more terrifying than those immortal cultivators. I'm really confused. Senior is such an expert, how could he raise a kitten? Jing Xian Wang understood this and hurriedly explained to Xiao Changtian. My mistake. Please, Senior. Wang Jingxian's face was still pale, but he recovered a little. Wang clan. The building was extremely luxurious. It occupied thousands of miles, with many pavilions and waterside pavilions, fake mountains and fountains, all of which showed the Wang family's economic strength. The Wang family is indeed rich. Xiao Changtian looked at the Wang family's environment and thought to himself. He stroked the white tiger's head a few times. The white tiger revealed an expression of extreme enjoyment. She opened her mouth and stuck out her pink tongue, licking Xiao Changtian's palm. You little brat. Xiao Changtian smiled faintly. Under RHE guidance of the state immortal Wang, Xiao Changtian and the other two quickly arrived at the main hall. Compared to the Great Sun Sect's main hall, it lacked a majestic and solemn aura. However, the main hall in front of him was also built extremely grandly and lavishly. There were even more than 100 dishes on the table. The two of them were dazzled. Senior. Seeing Xiao Changtian, the head of the Wang family ran over from afar. He had a respectful expression on his face and a smile. Wang Jingtian stood next to the Wang family head. Wang clan head, this is. Xiao Changtian looked at the young man in green and his eyes lit up. Seeing the young man holding a sword in his hand, Xiao Changtian, who lived beside the relay station all year round, quickly recognized that this young man should also be a cultivator. As for why the head of the Wang family called him Senior, Xiao Changtian didn't care. Many people called him Senior. Perfected Qing Yun was unable to read his own fortune because of a calligraphy piece. There were many more. Xiao Changtian was already numb to it. As long as someone called him senior, he would let them call him senior. In any case, they were all mortals or very weak immortal cultivators. He had all kinds of great success skills that the system had enhanced. Perhaps they had seen these stalls at a certain time. Senior, this is my son. He previously became an outer sect disciple in the Lin family and is learning immortal cultivation techniques. The head of the Wang family introduced with a smile. Wang Jingtian stood at the side, sizing up Xiao Changtian. Something's wrong. Why does this person look more and more like a mortal? Even if those experts hide their aura, they should have the temperament of an immortal cultivator, right? Could it be that I guessed wrongly? Wang Jingtian was extremely confused. He looked at Xiao Changtian and saw the white tiger in Xiao Changtian's hand. His eye. Wang Jingtian instantly gasped. There was a click. Like Wang Jingxian, the bottom of the bottom sat on the ground. He also saw the divine white tiger. The divine beast white tiger's incomparably vast aura instantly suppressed Wang Jingtian. Meow, quote. The white tiger let out a soft cry, rolled its eyes and glared at Wang Jingtian. His gaze was filled with disdain. It was as if he was saying that even an ant dared to size up his master. Senior, what realm is this expert at? He's so terrifying that he actually has a divine beast white tiger as a pet. Wang Jingtian was shocked. His entire face was filled with disbelief. For a moment he was like a statue. Chapter 91 Chapter 91 Mystic Realm Opening, Emperor Slaying Array. Chapter 91 Mystic Realm Opening, Emperor Slaying Array. A huge white tiger phantom lay in the sky and let out a deep roar. White tiger roar. The heavens trembled. All worlds prostrate. Wang Jingtian gasped and was dumbfounded. He was too strong. It was too powerful, so powerful that it was unimaginable. Why did you faint too? Xiao Changtian looked at Wang Jingtian, who was sitting on the ground with a puzzled expression. Why was this Wang family's sister so weak? If the woman was a little weaker, she would also look pitiful. But you are a man and a cultivator with a sword. How can you be so weak every day? Can a man say that he can't do it? Till give you a prescription later. Xiao Changtian shook his head and said. After all, the Wang family was treating him to a meal. This was a small favor, so he would help if he could. Yes. Wang Jingtian, who was sitting on the ground, hurriedly nodded. He didn't even have time to think about why he had given him a prescription. He only knew that the white tiger's power disappeared instantly when Xiao Changtian's voice sounded. What cultivation level is this? Senior is really too terrifying. I'm afraid that only Senior Yi Fan of the Yi family can have such might, right? Wang Jingtian thought of Yi Fan killing Yi Hao, who had suppressed the Western Bull continent, with an axe. Moreover, he did not have any cultivation. Immediately, Wang Jingtian determined that Xiao Changtian was on the same level as an expert like Yi Fan. Xiao Changtian held the kitten in his arms. Under the warm hospitality of the Wang family's head, everyone toasted and laughed. However, while others drank wine, Xiao Changtian drank tea. The way to maintain one's health had been completely engraved into his instincts. More importantly, he was waiting for the head of the Wang family to give him another golden reward. However, he had waited for several hours, but no one from the Wang clan had any intention of handing over the gold. What's going on? Are you not going to give me the gold? No, I have to think of a way to remind them. Xiao Changtian thought about it and immediately said, the 10 taels of gold from before, quote. Xiao Changtian said slowly, his gaze sweeping across the face of the Wang clan's patriarch. He believed that the head of the Wang clan was a wily old fox who managed such a large Wang clan. He must have understood his intentions. The result was just as he had expected. The Wang clan head really understood. The expression of Rhe Wang family's patriarch changed, and he immediately stood up. Very good, you are indeed the head of the family. It is easy to give a hint to a smart person. Xiao Changtian nodded in satisfaction. He was even extremely satisfied when he saw the head of the Wang family walking towards him step by step. Anticipation. JPG. However, what Xiao Changtian didn't expect was that the Wang family head didn't take out the gold. Instead, he knelt on the ground. Senior, it was my fault before. One shouldn't have used gold to repay you. Please forgive me, Senior. The head of the Wang family knelt on the ground, his face full of regret, begging Xiao Changtian for forgiveness. Xiao Changtian was dumbfounded. What was the meaning of this? What was a common thing? I'm just a mortal, okay? Mortals were extraordinary. Was he still a mortal? He understood. He understood everything. At this moment he understood everything. It must have been because Wang Miaoshu had taken him as his master and his disciple test had made him think that he was also a doctor with noble character. Unfortunately, I'm not. Xiao Changtian was depressed. His disciple was noble and upright. What did it have to do with him, his master? Don't slander me, okay? Xiao Changtian was in a mess at the table. However, when they were outside they had to pretend. This was like the image of an elite working outside and a country bumpkin returning home for the new year. It's fine. I didn't take it to heart. Xiao Changtian waved his hand. Thank you for your forgiveness, senior. End quote. When the Wang family's head heard this, he was overjoyed. However, at this moment, outside of Longevity Town, there was a sudden loud noise. The sound was extremely loud, like a meteor falling to the ground. The Wang family head, who was about to stand up, almost stumbled into Xiao Changtian's arms. However, after being glared at by the white tiger, the Wang family's patriarch activated his limits. Under extremely terrifying circumstances, he tilted his body and stood still. Butler, quickly go and see what's going on. The head of the Wang family instructed the butler, but before the butler could answer, the great sun immortal spoke first. A mystic realm has appeared a few thousand meters away. Quote. Even though there was a distance between them, the aura was still captured by the great sun immortal. Moreover, he felt that batches after batches of experts were rushing towards the mystic realm. The auras of those experts were abnormally powerful. Although they were far inferior to the 9 Phoenix Matriarch, their auras were on par with the 3 of them. There was even a portion of the strong ones whose aura was even stronger than the 3 of them. Clearly he was an expert at the Tribulation Transcendence realm. Secret realm? Xiao Changtian was stunned. In the world of immortal cultivation, he had heard that many experts would take a treasured land as their territory after they died. After passing away, the territory of the Chaos World would form a secret realm. Or perhaps it was a battle between many powerful people, and those powerful people died together and were eventually buried in that place, forming a secret realm. In the secret realm, they would have many magic treasures, cultivation techniques, and even panaceas. These were all existences that immortal cultivators would flock to. I feel that there seems to be an opportunity for me in the mystic realm. At this time the great sun immortal spoke. A puzzled expression appeared on his face. This was the intuition of an immortal cultivator. You want to go? Then I'll go and take a look too. Xiao Changtian was stunned at first, then he looked at the great sun immortal. If RHE great sun immortal wanted to go, it would be very dangerous for him to be without the protection of experts. He should be safe if he followed the great sun immortal. I want to go too. Seeing this, Wang Jingtian hurriedly followed up. There should be an opportunity for the mystic realm to appear. However, his current strength was very weak. He was only in the golden elixir realm. After being defeated by the golden core state level 9 cultivator, Wang Jingtian was traumatized. He wanted to break through and become stronger. If he could follow senior, he would be safe and his life would be safe. He would not have to worry about anything else and would just focus on searching for treasures. Alright, let's do it then. Xiao Changtian nodded. Wang Jingtian was also an immortal cultivator. Although he was weak, one more person meant more power. In the dark chamber, the man wearing RHE skull mask had a gloomy expression and held a bead covered in black gas in his hand. Even if you are an ancient emperor, you still have to die in the emperor slaying formation. Green Bull Emperor, I originally wanted to make this move go further, but unfortunately you're trash. The Emperor Slayer formation can be activated with the blood essence of the Green Bull Emperor. Chapter 92 Entering the Secret Realm, Devoured by the Black Fog. _I. Chapter 92 Entering the Secret Realm, Devoured by the Black Fog. _I. However, before that, one still need the blood essence of some cultivators. You ants that have entered, sacrifice yourselves. The man wearing the skull mask laughed coldly. His voice reverberated within the dark secret chamber and was extremely terrifying. I didn't expect that an ancient mystic realm would open in such a dilapidated town that doesn't even have many cultivators. Haha, who says so? Those who are allied with my Montenegro sect, please come here. I don't know what kind of opportunities will be in the mystic realm, and what kind of farming opportunities will be there. However, the ancestor has died and now the sect needs someone to break through and guard it. This mystic realm is an opportunity. Figures appeared in the sky one after another. Those people were very fast, like streams of light falling into the mystic realm. They followed. There were also the Xiao, Lin and Chu families as well as Yi Fan, Mu Jiahuang and the others. A mere mystic realm is not worth mentioning compared to the opportunities in Senior's small courtyard. Yi Fan, why did you come here? Mu Jiahuang looked at Yi Fan and asked. I feel that Master seems to have come to the Western Bull continent. Yi Fan held Lin Tingji's hand indifferently. Senior is here? You can sense Senior's aura? Mu Jiahuang was shocked. She knew that Yi Fan was very strong and far surpassed her. However, was Yi Fan already strong enough to sense Senior's aura? No. I can sense Senior Black Tortoise's aura. Yi Fan smiled faintly. Senior Black Tortoise? Mu Jiahuang is stunned and then she sees one green-haired tortoise riding on one panda's head, squatting at the entrance of the secret realm, staring at those passing female cultivators. Fatty, which one do you think is better? Black Tortoise patted Fatty Rongrong's head, its head swaying left and right, its gaze on those female Xiao. Boss, the ones who just walked past are still all right. Fatty Rongrong paused, feeling Boss touching her head, instantly rejoicing in her heart. This is Big Brother Black Tortoise. In the future, no one would dare to bully her if she followed her big brother, not even Phoenix. As long as he was not alone. Senior Black Tortoise. At this moment, Mu Jiahuang, Yi Fan, and the others descended from the sky and arrived in front of the Black Tortoise. Cough cough. Seeing Mu Jiahuang, the Black Tortoise coughed twice and instantly retracted its eyes. Then he said, have the two of you solved the matter of the West Bull continent? Senior Black Tortoise, it's already been resolved. Yi Fan said indifferently with a respectful expression. Not bad. Your cultivation has already reached this stage. It seems that as Master's eldest disciple, you didn't disappoint Master. Black Tortoise stared at Yi Fan for a while and said in satisfaction. Master's Taoist magic is still the strongest. Yi Fan did not dare to be arrogant and said indifferently. Alright, the mystic realm has opened. It will be a little dangerous for the two of you. Just be careful. Black Tortoise reminded. Soon after, she patted Fatty Rongrong's head, and like a rocket, Fatty Rongrong instantly shot out. Whoosh! With a sonic boom, the Black Tortoise and the Iron Eater disappeared. Will it be dangerous? Mu Jiahuang was slightly stunned, but she didn't think much of it when she saw Yi Fan walk in. Since Senior Black Tortoise is here, then Master must be here as well. With Master here, what danger would there be? At the entrance of the mystic realm. It was a huge whirlpool like a whirlpool on the surface of the sea. As long as one jumped in, they would be able to enter the mystic realm. By the time the Grand Sun Immortal and the others arrived, almost all the cultivators had already entered. At this moment, there were only a few of them at the entrance. Meow! The white tiger in Xiao Changtian's arms looked into the secret realm and let out a low cry. This was because he sensed the hidden killing intent in the mystic realm. However, he looked at Xiao Changtian and buried his head in Xiao Changtian's palm again. With Master here, a mere killing intent was nothing to worry about. Let's enter. Xiao Changtian said lightly and followed behind the great Sun Immortal into the vortex. When he stepped on the vortex, he was still a little nervous. However, in the next moment, space changed. A white light lit up in front of his eyes, and then he entered the mystic realm. The secret realm was filled with people. There are quite a few people. Xiao Changtian looked at the crowd of cultivators with excitement. If he hadn't come here with the great ocean immortal, how could he, a mere mortal, see the secret realm of the immortal cultivation world? Therefore, he was still looking forward to it. Where should we go next? Xiao Changtian asked the great ocean immortal. It was his first time in the secret realm, so he didn't know what rules or things to take note of. The only thing he was sure of was that it was definitely not wrong to follow the immortal ocean. The people of Ocean Town were stunned. Senior, are you asking me to choose a path? However, the cultivators in front of him were all in the Tribulation Transcendence realm, and their cultivation levels far exceeded his. Not to mention, this mystic realm gave him a sense of danger. However, the senior had already spoken and asked him to choose a path. In any case, with the senior around, there would not be any danger. Then I'll take the middle one. Let's go out from the middle. I feel that although it will be a little dangerous, the opportunity is the greatest. The great ocean immortal said in a deep voice. Although Xiao Changtian was a little afraid when he heard the word danger, he was the only cultivator left. Without him he would be in danger. But now he could only follow. As everyone continued to advance, a low voice suddenly sounded in the entire mystic realm. The voice was extremely hollow, like a ghost crying. The mystic realm is indeed extraordinary. Xiao Changtian listened to the ghost weep and was slightly nervous. He approached the great sun immortal. The white tiger in Xiao Changtian's hand raised its head. Its face darkened as it roared at the darkness not far away. Meow. Following the white tiger's deep roar, the darkness that was originally restless was directly frightened back. In the other passages, it was a completely different scene. What is this? Why is my cultivation being devoured? Help. What is going on? Where did this black fog come from? Why can't we kill these blood fiends in the black fog? Help. Shouts rang out as tribulation-transcending cultivators were swallowed by the black fog everywhere. The black fog rolled like a wave. Wave after wave. Countless cultivators died, countless cultivators were devoured, and countless cultivators were running for their lives. Fatty, these little guys are quite interesting. Not far away, the black tortoise was staring at them with an interested expression. Chapter 93, Boundless Danger. _I. Chapter 93, Boundless Danger. _I. Help, help. All, one don't want to be devoured by this monster. Anxious shouts rang out one after another, asking for help. The black fog was like a bone sore. As long as one came into contact with it, no matter how high one's tribulation realm was, they would be enveloped by the black fog. Then they would be devoured by the blood-red monster, and their blood would seep into the ground. On the ground, some array patterns could be vaguely seen. As the blood seeped in, the array pattern seemed to be activated and began to emit a faint halo. Not good, this blood has been absorbed by the array formation in the mystic realm. We can't fight on our own now. We'll fight against this black fog together. The sect master of Montenegro's sect was the first to step forward. Most of the people present were experts in the tribulation transcendence realm. Many of them were even sect leaders. They had all come here to seek opportunities and breakthroughs to replace the position of the ancestor who had been killed by Yihao. These people were all shrewd and experienced. They could tell at the first moment that this black fog was extremely abnormal. It was clearly for everyone's blood essence. The sect leader of Montenegro is right. Let's join forces. Immediately, the experts who were transcending the tribulation stopped in their tracks. Colorful true essence lights lit up in the secret chamber. Those experts emitted waves of terrifying aura. These terrifying auras gathered together, and their might was vast. Ha! One don't believe that this black fog can do anything to so many of us. Let's attack together. 3, 2, 1. Attack. With the sect master of Montenegro sect as the leader, countless seven-colored lights gathered in the passage on the left. They were colorful and formed a rainbow bridge. Boom. The terrifying power caused the entire passage to tremble. It directly collided with the black fog. Everyone did not hold back and went all out. This black fog had killed their sect's disciples and elders. They could not be forgiven. In the darkness, the rainbow bridge was like a divine light descending from the sky. In an instant, the black fog was dispersed. It's a success. That's great. Everyone's faces revealed incomparably excited expressions. The black fog from before could not help but cause fear to arise in their hearts. But now they had taken revenge. Boss, these people really know how to shout. That black fog hasn't dissipated yet. Flying in the air, Fatty Rongrong respectfully said to the green-haired turtle on her head. Oh oh. The black tortoise nodded his head and stretched out his turtle head. His eyes stared at a woman in an ice-blue dress. The peaks are like a gathering, and the waves are like raging waves. The green-haired turtle was reciting a poem, saliva flowing down Rongrong's head, directly dripping down. Big brother, good poem. It's really turbulent. Fatty Rongrong didn't care about Black Tortoise's saliva, her gaze following Black Tortoise's direction. A woman in an ice-blue dress was hiding behind a group of experts and sneaking away. In the next moment, she seemed to have sensed something. She raised her head and saw the old dirty turtle's lecherous eyes. He was staring at his clothes that had been slightly torn from the battle, revealing his snow-white chest. "Humph, you're courting death." The beautiful face of the woman in the ice-blue dress was instantly filled with anger. At the same time, a flying sword formed from a paper talisman in his hand, under the urging of spiritual power, directly stabbed towards the old dirty turtle. Kacha. However, with a crisp sound, that paper talisman transformed into a flying sword was directly eaten by Fatty Rongrong. What? The woman in the icy blue dress was shocked. These two demon beasts had higher cultivation than her. She immediately started running. Seeing that woman run away, the old dirty turtle patted Fatty Rongrong's head. "Chubby, chase after him." "Wah." Fatty Rongrong nodded, bending down to give chase. However, at this moment, the cultivators who were transcending the tribulation let out a wave of exclamations again. "Our power has been devoured. Hurry up and stop. Ah. One can't take it anymore." Screams of alarm rang out as the power of the Rainbow Bridge was devoured. The black fog returned and thick smoke billowed. In an instant, all the experts who were transcending the tribulation had ugly expressions. "Humph, evil creatures dare to cause trouble." At this moment, a voice as steady as a mountain rang out. A huge seal fell from the sky and repelled the black fog. "Chu family head. It's the Chu clan head's Chu seal divine art. The Chu clan head is here." "Thank you, Master Chu." Everyone turned their heads and saw Xiao Zhan, the head of the Xiao family. They all heaved a sigh of relief. The head of the Xiao family was the head of one of the four great families. His strength was terrifying and unparalleled. He was an 8th-level tribulation transcendence expert. Not only that, but with Mu Jiawang's help, he had recently broken through to the 9th stage of the tribulation transcendence realm. These tribulation transcending cultivators were all pleasantly surprised. "A mere black fog, I can suppress it with a flip of my hand." Xiao Zhan was flattered by the crowd, and his face revealed a proud expression. After breaking through to the 9th level of the tribulation transcendence realm, he was full of confidence. However, the smile on his face did not last for a few minutes before the black fog directly swallowed the divine power attack he had previously launched. "Not good, the black fog is coming again." Xiao Zhan's expression changed. The black fog was surging toward him, as if it was tainted with a terrifying ominous aura. After absorbing everyone's power, the black fog expanded even faster and instantly enveloped everyone. "Master Chu, please attack again." The experts present all looked at Xiao Zhan in horror. "Good." Xiao Zhan's face darkened. He struck out with both palms, and two golden seals emitting golden light fell directly toward the boundless black fog. Boom. The two golden seals collided with the black mist and exploded with a loud bang. However, Xiao Zhan was completely defeated in this clash. "It's over, family head Xiao has been defeated." Quote, "We can only wait for death." The group of cultivators stood on the spot in despair. Facing the black fog that covered the sky, they had no chance to escape at all. The entrance of the tunnel had been completely blocked by the black fog. There was no way to escape. At this moment, "Fatty, hurry up and go to bed." Black Tortoise stood on top of Rongrong's head, urging. The girl in the ice-blue dress had already run out of the passage. Fatty Rongrong hurriedly nodded. Boss's orders, he had to do it. But now, the black mist blocked the entrance of the cave, hindering Fatty Rongrong's footsteps. How dare they obstruct him? Fatty Rongrong was furious. He was going to complete Big Brother Black Tortoise's mission now. How could he be delayed? Roar. Only to see Fatty Rongrong erupt with a furious roar, instantly opening her iron-eating mouth. Chapter 94 Chapter 94 Divine Beast, this is a divine beast. Chapter 94 Divine Beast, this is a divine beast. Phew. In an instant, the fat Rongrong opened her mouth. The black chi that enveloped the tunnel instantly surged like a tide, directly rushing towards Fatty Rongrong's mouth. The huge suction force was like a whirlwind, causing those tribulation-transcending experts to sway in the wind. If it wasn't for the magic treasure stabilizing their bodies, these tribulation-passing experts might have also been directly devoured by Fatty Rongrong. Fuck, what level of demonic beast is this? It's so fierce. He swallowed the black mist. Heavens, what kind of demonic beast is this? The group of cultivators revealed incomparably surprised expressions. As experts who were transcending the tribulation, their strength was already powerful. However, they felt that they were completely powerless in front of this giant panda. Even the black fog was clearly a terrifying existence that was tainted with ominous aura. As long as they touched their skin, they would be corroded immediately. It was impossible for him to survive. But at this moment, that panda actually sucked all the boundless black chi here into its stomach. This. Countless cultivators were shocked. It was unbelievable, terrifying, fearful, and unbelievable. A series of emotions appeared on their faces. Some of them were so shocked that their jaws dropped, and their mouths were opened wider than pebbles. A few breaths later, that black energy was completely devoured by Rongrong. Burp. After swallowing the black mist, Fatty Rongrong burped, her face revealing a disgusted expression. It doesn't taste good. Fatty Rongrong directly spoke in human language, saying disdainfully. Fatty don't care if it's delicious or not. Black Tortoise riding on top of Rongrong's head, his face revealing an anxious expression. Although he could use his great ability to teleport, that would make chasing girls boring. Wah! Fatty Rongrong nodded once more, running on all fours like a nimble cheetah. However, he was wide and fat. That's Iron Eaters? Watching Fatty Rongrong and the Black Tortoise leave, a full 15 minutes passed before the group of cultivators recovered. Iron-eating beast, the iron-eating beast that was once said to be able to devour all the saint metal in the world. Rumor has it that the Iron Eater has been sealed? It seemed to be the beast. Tamer sect in the Nambu continent. How terrifying. You've also neglected one thing, that is the green-haired turtle on top of the Iron Eater's head. What do you mean? For a moment, everyone began to discuss and exclaim. This matter was too shocking. Some people even noticed that the Iron Eater was extremely respectful to the green-haired turtle. Obviously, the level of the green-furred turtle was higher than that of the iron-eating beast. Since when did the continent have so many experts? The sect leader of Montenegro's sect was terrified. He had yet to come back to his senses. His eyes were filled with endless fear. As the sect leader of Montenegro's sect spoke, everyone's faces darkened. Yeah. Was this still the Tianyuan continent? Or the Tianyuan continent that they ruled? At this moment, all the experts who were passing the tribulation had such doubts in their hearts. This was the first time that they doubted their own strength. On the other side, the female cultivator in the icy blue dress looked anxious and moved with great agility. The other hand, he was holding a communication jade talisman, which was flickering with light. Master, come and save me. I'm going to be persecuted by an old dirty turtle demon beast. As the woman spoke, she began to cry. She was the saintess of the victorious East Continent's Jade Lady sect. However, she had run away because she was playful. Coincidentally, the opening of the Longevity Town's Mystery Realm had happened. Lianhua had come to the Mystery Realm, ready to explore some opportunities. In any case, he had all the equipment his master had given him. He was not afraid at all. However, when the black fog appeared, the group of tribulation transcending experts were unable to resist. Lianhua finally realized the urgency of the matter and wanted to run out. What she didn't expect was that she was actually targeted by the dirty old turtle. What is it? Someone dared to touch my disciple? Wait, I'll come now. On the other end of the jade talisman, a furious voice rang out. Then the communication jade talisman was hung up. The woman in the icy blue dress heaved a sigh of relief when she saw her master. However, due to his anxiety and panic, he accidentally ran into another passage. There was no one in this passage. It seemed that no one had stepped in. However, there was no danger here. It was sunny and beautiful, with birds chirping and flowers fragrant. It was like a paradise in a mystic realm. Then I'll hide here. Lianhua smiled faintly. She set up a barrier formation and sat down to cultivate. In any case, his master would be here soon. Big brother, that woman's aura seems to have disappeared? Fatty Rongrong, who was chasing, suddenly stopped, her face revealing doubt. Fatty, big brother will teach you a move today. The black tortoise standing on top of the fat Rongrong's head smiled faintly. Lianhua hadn't disappeared, only used a barrier formation to hide her presence. However, this shielding magical treasure was of a very high level. Big brother, really? Fatty Rongrong's face was filled with joy. Who was his big brother? He was invincible in the universe except for the seniors and Phoenix. If he could learn 1 or 2 moves he would make a huge profit. Big brother, teach me quickly. Fatty Rongrong had a fawning expression, charmingly naive. Where was the slightest bit of the fierce appearance from before? Ding! Only to see Black Tortoise slap its claws, a green light shining on the head of Rongrong. In an instant, Fatty Rongrong felt his vision turn green. However, Emo Lianhua's aura appeared once again. Big brother, your divine ability is really strong. It turned green in an instant, hee. It's green. I saw everything. Fatty Rongrong was charmingly naive, her face carrying an excited expression as she continued to run. At this moment, Xiao Changtian and the others continued to move forward. The man wearing the skull mask looked at the crystal ball in front of him and his expression suddenly changed. Someone actually barged in. Kill this person first. The figure on the crystal ball was Emo Lianhua, who was wearing an ice blue dress. Not good, my disciple is in danger. Speed up. Emo Lianhua's master, the sect master of the Jade Maiden sect, was currently riding a horse over. Sensing a fluctuation in Emo Lianhua's soul jade token, he whipped the white-winged Pegasus he was sitting on. The white-winged Pegasus let out a long cry. Its 2 wings flapped rapidly, turning into a stream of light that rushed over at a speed faster than light. Chapter 95 Monarch Slaying Formation, this is a trapple eye. Chapter 95 Monarch Slaying Formation, this is a trapple eye. This place is quite safe and fun. Emo Lianhua wandered around the passageway. Birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. There were even rainbow-colored butterflies flying up and down. It was a stark contrast to the dark, terrifying and dangerous secret realm from before. However, all of a sudden, the entire tunnel shook violently. A huge crocodile was covered in black fog. It was ferocious and let out a monstrous roar. The crocodile pounced on Emo Lianhua. Emo Lianhua turned pale with fright and ran away. She took out a talisman from the ring. It was the life-saving talisman that her master had given her. It was able to escape through space for a long distance. There were only a few of them in the entire sect. Master, hurry up and come. I won't waste it if you come. Emo Lianhua was conflicted. This talisman was very precious. Unless it was absolutely necessary, she could not use it. She could only silently pray in her heart that her master would come quickly. Disciple, master is here. She watched as the crocodile opened its bloody mouth and revealed its pitch-black teeth, wanting to swallow her whole. A valiant woman in armor riding a white horse held a long sword in her hand and slashed down on the crocodile's head. Clang! The sword chi directly shook the crocodile and made it retreat 10 steps before it stopped. Master, you're here. Emo Lianhua saw her master and quietly put away the space shield talisman. However, Emo Yen saw it too. One told you not to cultivate properly. Now you're in trouble, right? Emo Yen said unhappily. The reason why she could come so quickly was because she had used a space talisman. It was a spatial talisman that belonged to her sect leader. There was only one such card in the entire Jade Maiden sect. However, for the sake of this precious disciple, he had no choice but to use it. Didn't you say that it was an old dirty turtle? Why is it a crocodile now? Emo Yen asked. Master, this crocodile just came out. The old dirty turtle hasn't caught up yet. Emo Lianhua smiled innocently. Hearing this, Emo Yan's eyes twitched. This disciple of his was really a troublemaker. Let's go. Emo Yen didn't want to continue fighting. He took his disciple and rode on the white-winged Pegasus, ready to leave. However, the crocodile that was knocked back received the power from the skeletal man. Suddenly, the black chi around his body became even stronger, and his figure directly expanded several times. Roar! The crocodile roared and pounced at the white-winged Pegasus with its claws. Flash! Emo Yen controlled the white-winged Pegasus to turn around and twist its body, causing the crocodile to miss. However, because of this, the positions of the two sides also changed. Now the crocodile was blocking the entrance. Emo Lianhua and her disciples were stuck in the passageway. Not good, this is troublesome. Emo Yan's face darkened. Even she, who had been through hundreds of battles, was frowning. Emo Lianhua didn't dare to be mischievous, and her expression turned grave. If his master said that there was trouble, then it was really trouble. Now the only way is to fight. Disciple, use the spatial talisman to escape first. Don't cause trouble for me. Mo Yin said in a deep voice. He got off the white horse. The armor on his body made a heavy sound. She raised the sword in her hand and charged at the crocodile again. Master. Mo Lianhua's expression changed drastically. She had a grave look on her face. How could she not know that she had gotten herself into big trouble this time? His master was at the 8th level of the Tribulation Transcendence realm, but this crocodile in front of him was actually able to fight to a standstill with his master. In fact, he even faintly suppressed his master. Boom, boom, boom. A man and a crocodile were fighting at this moment. The scene was extremely intense. Just a single sweep of the crocodile's tail was enough to cause a huge chasm in the ground. Mo Yan's sword moved one after another. Each of his sword strikes carried the power to split mountains and rivers. The battle between the two terrifying powers caused Mo Lianhua to tremble in fear. If there was even a single mistake, her master could very well be seriously injured. Mo Lianhua stood rooted to the ground like a minion. She gripped the spatial escape talisman tightly in her hand, not daring to move. At this moment, not far from the cave, Fatty Rongrong, who was originally rushing over, was pulled back by Black Tortoise. Wait a minute. I'll pick a wildflower first. Women all like this kind of wildflower. This one, thorny blood rose, red and bright. Black Tortoise held the thorny rose in his hand. However, the moment he finished picking the flowers, he sensed a terrifying change in the cave. Fatty, there's a spicy stick that doesn't listen to you. Go and eat it. Black Tortoise said to Rongrong. Spicy strips. Fatty Rongrong was delighted. Senior had made spicy sticks for them. They were delicious. In an instant, Fatty Rongrong quickened her pace, transforming into a nimble fat panda. In the blink of an eye, she arrived inside the cave. In the other passages, many experts, except for Xiao Changtian's passageway, had suffered heavy casualties. The mysterious patterns on the ground began to glow with a red light. However, the black fog seemed to have killed enough people and absorbed enough power. It began to fade. After the Great Terror, it represents an opportunity. Let's charge. Haha, I've even endured such a terrifying darkness. Why would I be afraid of everything here? Charge, charge, charge. I must obtain the opportunities here. Excited voices rang out one after another. Everyone quickened their pace and rushed forward. Immediately after. Soon, everyone arrived at this place where birds were chirping and flowers were fragrant. Is that the sect master of the victorious East Continent's Jade Lady sect? That crocodile's aura is so powerful. What terrifying power. That crocodile is at least at the 9th stage of the Tribulation Transcendence realm. Everyone who came here looked terrified. The crocodile was too strong. Mo Yin was being beaten back and had no chance to fight back. Sect masters, if you lend me a hand, I will definitely reward you heavily in the future. Mo Yin saw the many experts who had suddenly appeared. Some of them were people he knew, so he spoke directly. Good. When the sect leaders saw this scene, they rushed up and fought with the crocodile. However, in the middle of the fight, the crocodile suddenly self-destructed, and a huge spider appeared in front of everyone. The crocodile's power was directly absorbed by the spider. Then the spider spat out silk, and the red silk formed a huge web. It instantly enveloped the entire mystic realm. What happened? What happened? What's wrong with this spider in front of us? What were these red threads? Someone asked curiously. In the crowd, everyone shook their heads, their faces blank. Until an old man with white hair and wrinkled skin walked out with a walking stick. He looked like he was in his twilight years. This is the Emperor Slaying Formation. Ancient Emperor Slaying Formation. Chapter 96, Chapter 96. Why are there spiderwebs? 1. Chapter 96. Why are there spiderwebs? 1. The old man was the ancestor of the West Bull Continent's Qin clan, Qin Shou. Among the many experts present, he was the oldest and had the most experience. When he was fighting Yi Hao, he didn't attack because his realm had fallen and his life force was about to reach the end. Senior Qin, what is the Emperor Slaying Formation? Yeah, is this the spider silk? It looks like it can be broken with a flick of my finger. A Tribulation Transcendence cultivator asked with a puzzled expression. The spider silk in front of him did not pose much of a threat to him. As he spoke, he punched out. He had absolute confidence that he could shatter these red spider webs with a punch. No. When Qin Shou saw this, his expression was greatly shocked. He hurriedly raised the walking stick in his hand, wanting to stop it. However, it was already too late. The powerful warrior who had attacked had already punched the red spider silk. Wong. The red spider silk emitted a red light that was like an electric current. In an instant, the expert's body was directly enveloped by a powerful red light. Instantly, he turned into ashes and disappeared. When everyone saw this scene, they all sucked in a breath of cold air, and their faces were filled with disbelief. Some people were even at the first level of the tribulation. They were so scared that they retreated. They staggered and lost their balance, directly falling to the ground. He didn't have the slightest bit of dignity that belonged to a tribulation-transcending expert. Senior Qin, is this the Emperor-slaying formation? A mere touch could turn a fifth-level tribulation transcendence expert into ashes? It's so scary. How are we going to get out now? Senior Qin, is there any way to break this ancient Emperor-slaying formation? Everyone looked at Qin Shou with puzzled expressions. When Qin Shou heard this, he waved his hand, indicating for everyone to calm down. At this moment he said, I'm afraid everyone knows that the reason why there is no Mahayana in our era is because of the ancient rumors of the Emperor's fall era. Qin Shou said slowly. However, no one complained about his slow tone. Instead, they asked in confusion, Senior Qin, what does this matter have to do with the Emperor-slaying formation? Yeah. The crowd continued to listen to Qin Shou's explanation with a puzzled expression. It's precisely because of the fallen emperor era that spirit weapons were exhausted and the laws of heaven and earth changed greatly, that there were no great emperors born in our world. Even the 9-Phoenix matriarch was given the title of matriarch because she was the #1 expert of the human race. However, before the Di Luo era, those great emperors were all existences who could pick stars with their bare hands and destroy continents with a wave of their hands. However, even the ancient emperors have formations that are specially designed to trap and kill them. This formation is the ancient emperor-slaying formation. Qin Shou explained the origin of the ancient emperor-slaying formation in one breath. After hearing this, the faces of the experts present all darkened. The glory before the ancient emperor era, although the specifics were unknown. However, the terror of those great emperors was more or less recorded in these large sections. Even those who could break through the tribulation and establish a sect were all on a bone or a part of the body of those great emperors. A single bone was enough to make the entire sect develop to such a terrifying extent. Not to mention, this was before those ancient emperors. However, these red spider webs were actually able to trap and kill ancient emperors. Then aren't we going to die here today? Even an ancient great emperor could be killed, let alone us? We're just transcending the tribulation. Then what should we do? Are we just going to wait for death? The group of cultivators looked dejected and didn't know what to do. What's wrong with the West Bull continent? Why was it Yi Hao first and then this mystic realm? Could it be that all the luck of the Western Bull continent has been absorbed? Damn it. The experts complained helplessly. Beside him, Mo Lianhua was treating Mo Yan's injuries. The Sea King has come to take the opportunity to suppress the enemy. At this moment, Fatty Rongrong brought Black Tortoise. The two quickly arrived. Iron-eating beast, is it the iron-eating beast from before? And that green turtle? Instantly, everyone's gazes all turned towards Fatty Rongrong and Black Tortoise. Master, it's this old dirty turtle who looked at me lecherously before. He's an old pervert. Mo Lianhua complained. The Iron Eater devoured all of the black mist. I wonder what this ugly green-haired turtle is capable of. This green-furred turtle looks quite comical, but this iron-eating beast is a little fierce. Immediately, the voices of discussion rang out. These voices were all praising Fatty Rongrong's might, and there were even people who spoke of how Fatty Rongrong had swallowed all the black mist in one gulp, drawing praise from everyone. However, he still had doubts about Black Tortoise. The repeated calls for the green turtle made the Black Tortoise's face turn gloomy. Also, what was an old dirty turtle? I'm a Sea King. The Sea King. Sea King. Important things were repeated 3 times. In an instant, the Black Tortoise was furious. In an instant, the spiritual energy around its body erupted, and the Black Tortoise Dharma idol instantly appeared, level with the sky. The terrifying pressure directly passed through the Emperor-slaying formation. All The black tortoise's mountain-like terrifying pressure directly crushed many of the tribulation-passing experts present. They squatted on the ground one by one, unable to get up. Black tortoise, it's actually black tortoise. Heavens, the legendary black tortoise is so terrifying. No wonder he can ride on the head of an iron eater. It's the divine beast black tortoise. This was a legendary existence. Many voices were extremely shocked. Even Emolienhua was completely stunned. Shin, black tortoise? Emolienhua looked at the black tortoise in disbelief. Previously he had actually called her an old dirty turtle? This. Emolienhua lowered her head in fear and buried her head into her own mountain range. That's right. Remember my name, Sea King. The black tortoise looked at the shocked crowd and smiled. This was the treatment of this Sea King. As he spoke, he walked into the emperor-slaying formation and came to Emolienhua's side. Little girl, this rose is for you. The black tortoise looked at Emolienhua and said indifferently. Senior gave it to me? Emolienhua's face was filled with shock and disbelief as she hurriedly took the thorny rose. Seeing Emolienhua put away the thorny rose, Black Tortoise nodded and said, All right, since you've accepted this Sea King's roses, you're now a woman under this Sea King's protection. If you have any problems in the future, feel free to find this Sea King. As he spoke, he prepared to leave arrogantly. Big brother, he left just like that. Fatty Rongrong asked in confusion. Boring. Ilo, can it be fun if you win her over? Next. Black Tortoise said with a smile. I see Big Brother is awesome. Fatty Rongrong cheered from the side. At this moment, Xiao Changtian and the others also arrived. However, Xiao Changtian's path was blocked by red spider silk. Why is there a spider web? Xiao Changtian said as he reached out with one hand. Chapter 97. Chapter 97. No, this is an existence even stronger than a great emperor. _I. Chapter 97. No, this is an existence even stronger than a great emperor. _I. Xiao Changtian's voice rang out, and countless cultivators looked at Xiao Changtian and his group. Xiao Changtian raised a hand and was about to push the spider web away. Everyone present saw this scene. A mortal? A mortal has entered the mystic realm. Even a 9th-level Tribulation Transcendence Realm cultivator would turn into ashes if they touched this emperor-slaying array, let alone a mortal. Instantly all the cultivators present sneered. Some kind-hearted cultivators waved their hands to stop Xiao Changtian from touching the formation. However, most of them had cold expressions on their faces. To immortal cultivators, mortals were like ants. There was no need to remind them. It was like an ordinary person walking on the street and casually stepping on an ant without any pity. That was because he did not put ants in his eyes at all. Haha, it's finally here. In the dark chamber, the man wearing the skull mask sneered as he looked at the crystal in his hand with a vicious gaze. The monarch-slaying formation was set up for Xiao Changtian. As long as Xiao Changtian touched it, he would be severely injured even if he didn't die. At that time, the spiders hiding in the secret realm could attack at any time and kill a heavily injured great emperor. The skull-masked man sneered as he stared at the crystal ball. The spider that was hiding in the dark was ready to attack. Its 8 spider legs were already bent and ready to exert force at any time. These spider webs are so troublesome. Xiao Changtian held the white tiger in one hand and lowered his head. He didn't see anyone waving at him. Then a hand reached for the spider web. Then he gently fiddled with it. Dai. The Emperor's Slaying Formation is an ancient formation. One spent a huge price to revive this formation. The skeleton man was overjoyed when he saw Xiao Changtian reach out his hand. He burst out laughing. It's over. The cultivators who were waving at Xiao Changtian were frozen in the air with despair on their faces. No one could save this mortal now. Hiss hiss. In the dark, the spider lay dormant, spitting out red spider silk from its mouth. It was already prepared to attack. As long as Xiao Changtian was heavily injured, he could kill him in one strike. How troublesome. I don't have any tools or anything. I have to open it myself. Xiao Changtian said speechlessly. He waved his hand and the red spider silk broke instantly. The few forces who saw this scene were instantly dumbfounded. What's going on? Didn't the Emperor Slayer formation work? Why isn't this mortal dead? Impossible, let's try? Those cultivators all looked puzzled. A tribulation transcendence Taoist threw out a Dharma treasure and hit the emperor-slaying formation. Kacha. The Dharma treasure shattered and was blasted into pieces by the terrifying power of the emperor-slaying formation. Hiss. Instantly everyone gasped in shock. That was a high-grade defensive spirit weapon. Although it wasn't anything precious to a tribulation-transcending cultivator, it had been blasted to smithereens, but this mortal in front of him was actually fine. Suddenly someone spoke. This person is not a mortal at all. He's an old monster. It's very likely that he's an old monster that's even more awesome than the ancient great emperor. Jade Sect's sect leader asked in puzzlement. How is that possible? How can an old monster not have any cultivation? Someone scoffed. Who said one don't have cultivation? Without cultivation, how could he be fine in front of the emperor-slaying formation? It's just that this person's cultivation level is too high, so we couldn't tell at all. We can't tell? Fuck, what realm is that expert at? In an instant, everyone was dumbfounded. It was as if thunder had struck their minds. Qin Shou, the old man who was at the end of his life, was trembling all over. The walking stick he was holding on to trembled continuously on the ground, causing small holes to appear. To be able to break the emperor-slaying formation, this person's cultivation is already beyond our imagination. You must not offend the people of the Qin family. Qin Shou came down directly. The tribulation transcendence experts beside him nodded seriously. The old ancestor had lived for a very long time and was extremely experienced. He had helped the Qin family avoid many crises. Now everyone was respectful. My Montenegro sect cannot offend this expert. My Celestial Cloud sect is the same. Our sect is the same. Immediately, countless sect leaders imitated Qin Shou's orders and gave orders to the existences in the clan. Hiss hiss. In the dark, the spider was so frightened that it did not dare to move. It spat out countless red spider silk from its mouth and sent a message to the man in the skeleton mask in the dark chamber. In the dark chamber. The crystal ball in the skull-masked man's hand flickered with red light. It was all information from the spider. However, at this moment, the skull-masked man was also stunned on the spot. Who exactly are you? How can you break the emperor-slaying formation so easily? The skull-masked man was so frightened that he took a few steps back before stabilizing his body. After a long time, he gave an order to the spider that was hiding in the dark. Retreat. They had to retreat now. Otherwise, if the spiders were discovered, the entire mythical realm would lose control. Immediately, the spider nodded and retracted all the red spider webs. It hopped on its 8 legs and was about to leave the West Bull continent. At this moment, everyone saw the spider again. These red spider webs were spat out by this spider. What kind of spider is this? It can actually weave an emperor-slaying array. It's so terrifying. Seeing that the spider was about to fly away, no one dared to stop it. Everyone could feel a terrifying aura from the spider. This aura made them wary. Xiao Changtian, on the other hand, was holding a cat in his arms, lowering his head to deal with the spider silk in his hands. Meow. The white tiger lay in Xiao Changtian's palm and licked the spider silk for him. The black tortoise saw Xiao Changtian and retreated into its shell. Fatty Rong Rong wanted to make a move and grab that spider. However, another powerful and terrifying aura approached, making him hurriedly retract his claws. Coo coo coo. Accompanied by the crow of a chicken, everyone suddenly saw a phoenix appear. The endless hell seemed to be burning the heavens. Its divine might was impressive, and its figure floated in the 9 heavens. As soon as she opened her mouth, the spider was instantly bitten by her. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.